Hey, who's this right here? Hey.
That is Santana Moss.
I thought you had Edward James.
I sold it to Oscar.
That's Hall of Famer now.
Yeah, I know. I fucked up, dude. I fucked up. I bet you he's happy as fuck, too, dude.
Let's go.
Yeah, welcome to the WINDUP Podcast, brought to you by C4 Back Company, Isa Cookies, and Ferrari Michelada Mix. I'm your host, Steve Medina, along with the, I guess we're going to call you the Pasadena wannabe Chingo Bling today. How about that?
Oh, okay. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Okay, good. Also with us behind the glass, so to speak, would be our producer, Julio Ramirez. And Junior, you want to introduce who our guest is going to be today?
Yes, man. We got a very special guest in the building.
Yes, we do.
I want everybody to welcome Darren Larson.
Darren Larson, USSSA. How you doing today, Darren?
Really good, man.
Are you?
A little tired, but hey.
Aren't we all, right?
We'll get over it.
Yeah. Well, it's good to be back, Julio. I mean, let's see. When was the last time we were here? Last Monday, right?
It felt like months ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Last Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, last Monday we were here, and then we changed it due to baseball commitments. And so now we're here on a Friday night, and we're looking to have a great show today. So let's talk about a little things before we get into our interview with Darren. Julio, I'm tired of Pete Rose.
Pete
Dude,
Rose.
I'm tired of this whole. They won't let this thing die.
Who
dude.
are you tired of? You tired? I'm
Like-
tired of Pete Rose.
Like we just read at ESPN about what was that code breaker?
Yeah, the
An
code
intern-
breaker. It was an intern that went in there and supposedly set up this entire scheme, which
Where? For the
for
Astros?
the Astros, yeah.
An intern?
An intern, yeah.
Man, come on.
But what about the 7 other teams that were doing that?
Exactly. So okay. I'm gonna get off Pete Rose in a little while, but listen. So AJ Hinch is supposed. Did he have that interview today? Was it today,
yesterday?
right?
Yesterday.
Yesterday, but it was airing today, correct?
Yes.
Did y'all see it? Okay, so I'm looking at an insert or a little excerpt from it, and man, he looked like he was gonna cry, man. I mean, he looked terrible. He looked terrible. Listen, my deal is this, okay? And you can agree with it or you cannot agree with it, but it already happened. Apologize. Whether you're sincere about the apology or not, you just got to just say, I'm sorry. We did it. We got caught. Move on. People are going to forget. As soon as the season starts, people are going to forget now. The Astros are going to have a problem when they go on the road, and everybody's going to dog them. But the perception is already there. So if the perception's there, you may as well just feed into it. And, hey, man, listen, just say, I'm sorry, and move on. Because everybody else does it. The Astros just got caught. Like Will Clark said, they just got caught. You know, so if they just got caught, just admit it. Let's move forward. What is it, 40H this year?
Yep.
That's 48.
40H, okay. Houston
40H.
against everybody. Houston versus all y'all. Whatever, dude. Let's just be the villain.
Man, but they stole that from the Houston Roughnecks. You saw that? They got the same slogan.
Man,
You hear
listen,
that?
Roughnecks don't count. I'm
Come on,
sorry.
man.
Nah, I don't.
Football
Y'all
season's
gonna watch
never
it?
ending now.
No,
You
I'm
wanna
not
watch
gonna
it? It
watch
starts
Oh,
this
we're gonna
weekend.
watch it, baby.
Who's going to watch it?
I'm gonna watch it.
I'll watch it
Ain't
just to
nobody
see what
gonna
it
I'm
is.
buying the season tickets for it too.
What's a roughneck? I ain't know.
Me neither.
Exactly. Thank you, Darren. No, well, so the Roughnecks are the XFL entry for I guess the Houston market. So they're playing tomorrow. What, 5?
Yeah, I think 5 or 6, man.
5 or 6. Okay, so one of the good things about the Roughnecks coming in is WWE bought that U of H, that new turf.
Okay.
And so apparently it's supposed to be you're going to have the ability to change it every week.
What?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like some new
Fertitta in it
technology.
or no?
Huh?
Fertitta's got to be in there, right?
No, dude, that was Vince
just
Vince
Vince
McMahon. Yeah.
Okay.
He's the one who did it.
All right.
And so I guess he donated to U of H, and so the U of H is going to be the beneficiary of the new turf. So we'll wait and see. But I think they play Los Angeles tomorrow, I barely started seeing their apparel at Dick's.
Yeah.
And I think I saw it at Academy.
I think it's like the kickoff game, man. The primetime game.
Is
I
it?
thought they were doing like at the halftime, like an extended halftime, where they did a lingerie football game at halftime for like 20 minutes. Is that
Really?
True? Is that true?
Oh, I don't know.
know.
Junior?
I don't know. Well,
Chingo?
if that's the case,
I mean,
we're in there.
What did-
Hey, you're gonna have to cancel those games for tomorrow.
Exactly. We're not going to play tomorrow. But yeah, so they're starting tomorrow. I think they're playing Los Angeles, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's going to come on Fox as well.
Okay.
So, but let's go back to the Astros. Okay, and then we're going to hit up some Rockets too, because I'm tired of. Listen, I'm just tired of. I don't even watch TV that much anymore, dude. Because here's the deal. So you got everybody on the MLB, and I know I talked about this last week, but they just won't let it die. Okay, so You mean to tell me that the Yankees, the Red Sox, and we're not even going to talk about the Dodgers because the Dodgers, I don't care who they have. They can have the best team in the world. They're still going to choke because that's what they do.
So what happened to Cora?
What? Not,
He just got fired?
Oh, you know what?
He just laid off. He didn't get suspension or MLB didn't fine him.
They haven't. Apparently, they haven't finished the investigation. But it's funny how they finished the one up for the Astros real quick.
Sure.
And then the Red Sox haven't even hired a manager yet. So spring training is like in 2 weeks, no manager.
Man.
Figure that out.
Who took Beltran's spot in the Mets?
Luis Rojas.
Yeah.
Beltran, yeah, that was tough for him.
Yeah. Well,
Man, he
he was
barely
the
went in there,
mastermind.
huh?
He was a player, though, right?
Yeah, he was the mastermind behind the whole
I don't
thing.
know, man. They just said it was the intern.
Yeah,
dude.
this was like an hour ago.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so the intern's the fall guy. Okay.
Okay.
So let's not
But I think this intern's are still employed with the Astros. I'm trying to look it up right now.
for real. Okay. Well, it doesn't matter who they say. No, I'm not. We're not going to pass that off as an intern. I'm sorry.
All right.
The Astros did that. Beltran did that. Cora did that. Everybody did that. But listen, going back to Hinch, man, dude, you didn't see an excerpt of it? It looked like he was about to cry.
Yeah, no, I mean, I saw a little bit
Dude,
on
you got to man up.
Instagram.
You got to man up. I'm sorry.
After this, I'll watch the.
It happened. It happened. I mean, just say sorry and let's go. But here's the deal. So the Yankees and the Red Sox, they're not in like the Oakland A's back in the day when they played steroid ball and they won the championship in '89. They're not giving that title back. Nobody cares. They won it. Like Pop Green said, the streets know who won the World Series. Yeah. Am I right?
Yeah.
All right. So they won it on the field, whether you like it or not. Dodger fans, man, I'm tired of you guys, and you guys ain't gonna win jack. What do you think?
Hey, man, I don't think they're gonna win.
And then Pete Rose wants to come out.
I saw that.
So Pete, okay, and I've been on this show since the beginning. Okay, Pete Rose probably should be in the Hall of Fame just because of a player, right? I'm not disputing that whatsoever. However, Pete Rose signed a deal, okay, back in the day to get that lifetime ban. Now, so what Pete Rose has done ever since he signed that lifetime ban is pretty much just shit on the MLB's face, doing everything he can to embarrass MLB, and then now he wants to be reinstated because now he's going to bring up the Astros? Are you serious?
No loyalty, man.
Man, dude.
There's no loyalty in select baseball right there.
Pretty much, man.
What do you think, man? I got a topic I want to talk about tonight.
Yeah,
I got a very interesting phone call later today. Earlier today.
And we'll get to that, but let's go back to Pete Rose. Okay. Like I stated before, I don't think he wants to be in the Hall of Fame. He makes more money outside the Hall of Fame.
Man, I don't understand. Like, this dude's like, y'all seen the memes and the facts. Like, somebody could go on and hit for I don't know how many hits a season and still not catch up to Pete Rose.
Oh, what he did was remarkable and incredible.
But look, this is my thing, though. Obviously, I didn't grow up in that era, and maybe Darren can chime in on this, but is cheating that bad to put you out of the Hall? Was it that bad? I mean, what was going on?
It was the betting.
Yeah, it was the betting. And he lied for 20 years about it.
Man.
Okay.
No throwing games or what? Was he throwing games?
I
wasn't watching baseball at that time. I wasn't even born yet.
I don't think he was throwing games. He just bet.
Yeah.
He bet on himself when he thought he was going to win, and he didn't never bet on himself to lose, I don't think.
But he still bet it. And so when you go into every clubhouse, it's right there. I mean, you cannot miss it. If you've ever walked into a clubhouse, you see it. No gambling, all that stuff. So he knew about it. Okay. Then he signed a deal to be, and I sent that to you guys, right? On WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Okay. So that explains it perfect. I mean, he's had time and time and time again to get reinstated, and Pete Rose gets in the way of himself. Plain and simple. I mean, he's just a piece of shit dude. He should not get into the Hall of Fame at all, regardless of how many hits he has. He pretty much killed Bart Giamatti. You know, so all these commissioners, they all know each other, dude. I mean, it's a tight knit group, and so I don't know if he's ever going to get in. So
everything's political, man.
Yeah, I bet.
Exactly. Now, but here's the deal about the new commissioner, Manfred. And he's weak. He may as well show up to every press conference with a New York Yankee hat. Seriously, he may as well just walk around with an embedded New York Yankee shirt on.
That's true.
Because that's all he's doing, man.
Yeah, how do they not get investigated or even looked at, right?
Hey, man.
That's the cash cow, right, man? I mean, you gotta milk it.
I guess, man. But so
You're not a Yankees fan, are you, Steve?
I don't hate the Yankees. I don't like them, but I mean, they're what they've done is extraordinary. I mean, you can't take that away from them, no matter if you like them or not. But it's just one of those things, man. I mean, I wasn't a big Jeter fan. I wasn't a big A-Rod fan. Now, you know how A-Rod can get in my good graces?
Yeah.
Anybody know? Not that it matters.
Let's
So-
have a J-Lo or what?
No.
Yeah, so I was thinking.
Actually better than that. Okay, so now he's the brand ambassador, brand president for Presidente beer. So anybody who's been to the Dominican Republic, that is the beer. That is my favorite beer.
Oh, so
Okay.
that's why you asked me first.
Hold on. But the only one they sell in the United States or in Texas right now is Presidente. Now, if he brings Presidente Light into the United States, me and A-Rod are boys.
Ooh.
That is the best beer on the market right now. And it has
Man,
been.
look, our comments for Pete Rose, they're coming in. Pete Rose is broke as fuck for who he is.
How is he broke? He's
never
always in
cheated.
Vegas.
No gambling or they will cut you for life. That has been the rule from Todd Prevent.
I don't understand how he's broke when he's always posted up in Vegas doing autographs.
Didn't he open up a hit academy here?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
What happened with that?
briefly.
Oh,
Oh my
no,
God,
no.
dude. I don't want to get into that.
I know
No?
the backstory.
Yeah, no.
We're not gonna talk to that.
Ooh, we'll talk about that offline.
Yeah, but Todd says A-Rod's cool though. So
A-Rod?
Yeah.
No, he's not. But if he brings President the Light, it will be. I've been in the room with A-Rod. Nah, no thank you.
no,
Nah, no thank you.
come
Not
on,
a fan.
man.
Huh?
I saw him in the last postseason. I told him the Yankees suck. He just gave me a thumbs up. He walked away.
No, well, hold on. Were you dressed like that?
Nah, I was not dressed like that.
So he didn't. So
People think I'm Chingo Bling. The comments are coming
that's what
in.
I'm telling you. You're the Pasadena, the poor man's Chingo Bling from Pasadena, from
It's
Sam
gotta
Rayburn.
be the glasses, bro.
No, it's the hat.
The hat.
The hat. Now
It's,
you
it's a
can,
good look for you, man.
Yeah. Man, I'm gonna pull up like this to all the tournaments this year. So,
you should coach first base like that
yeah, first base.
with boots on.
With blue jeans.
yeah. Nah, I'm running.
Hey, you better make sure you pass that background check because you won't be on.
Let's talk about that, man. We got the email about that, Darren. Talk to us. Let's talk about those background checks.
It's federal law.
Federal law.
If you there's several lawsuits right now going on around the country.
Okay.
If you put a coach on the field and they molest a kid, whoever put him on the field is just as guilty as the person that commits the offense. So it's a pretty tough law, man. They put some teeth in that thing. So we're just doing our part to start to educate the public. So we'll see how it goes. It'll be fully in effect for all the coaches when it gets to August.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay, so we had some questions about that, and obviously you had some interaction on Facebook about it.
Just a little bit, right?
Just a little bit. Okay, so the way you explained it right now, I'm good with it. I don't have any questions, but there's always people that, how do I put this? They won't take what you say to heart.
They read into it. They want to
Exactly.
think whatever they want to think on it. And
So it's pretty cut and dry.
yeah, it's very cut and dry.
Okay.
I mean, the head of USA Baseball
Okay.
is worried that he is going to jail for some little league team committing an offense out on the field,
Okay.
and he's not even anywhere in the same state.
Your phone's too loud, Steve.
Okay.
You got people already telling me.
Nah, I'm reading about
Come
this.
on, man.
This is hilarious. Astro fans calling Rhodes. Yeah, I did, and he is. And those are just facts. I mean, I think Larry isn't he a Ranger fan? Larry House?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, y'all win something first. And I'm tired of Ranger fans too. I mean, the
They
Rangers,
copied our stadium,
dude.
bro.
The Rangers have been sorry since I was a kid. Okay, when are they going to get better?
I don't know.
Hey, I love the Astros, man. I do a lot of stuff with them in the summer, so I'm sticking with the Astros.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm a
for
company.
sure.
I'm a company man.
Oh man,
You need a
man.
new hat, Steve?
No, I don't. But thank you, Alfredo Cruz. But you can send me one from your team, and I'll wear it.
So getting back to Safe Sport real quick.
Yeah.
Basically, we had to implement the rules at some point in time, so we started implementing them on January 1. So the coaches are going to register a new team, or if you become manager of a new team, you had to have passed a background check. If you tell us that you passed it, we're not going to double check you. That relieves us of our burden, and now it's on your organization. but all organizations should be running background checks on all their coaches.
Okay.
If they don't, they run the risk of going to jail, basically. So because you have a coach in your organization and you don't have a set of rules for them to follow on how to interact with kids, and they break the law, then you're going to be held responsible.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Makes perfect sense.
Okay. So everybody got the email, right?
Yeah, we sent it out. We're going to be doing more education as we go, but
Okay.
and it's been nice because we haven't been totally prepared for it either because it's something new for us.
Okay.
So like I talked to the national office today, to where I've had we have several people calling in like, hey, we want to have all of our coaches background checked, right?
Okay.
And they haven't done it in the past. So we're working on getting some type of link on USSSA or somewhere to where you guys can get directed to something. But I mean, they can just for a time being, they can just look up background check and get it done on their own.
Okay.
So we're going to try to implement that. Right now, it's just for the coach when they go in there. If they say no on the question, it directs them to a link to get the background check done.
Okay.
So you guys are doing the background check, correct?
On when they register, if they don't have it, we're giving them a place to go. We don't want to assume that responsibility of us running all the background checks.
Okay.
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 And then the directors out there, the way the law is written is my understanding is once we bring teams into the tournament director assumes responsibility for all the coaches in the park, basically.
Okay.
And so we have USSSA and our insurance companies and all of that, and how we're implementing our process. The non-sanctioned guy that doesn't have that is going to have some problems in the future just because there's going to be a lot of risks. They're not going to have all the stuff in place to cover themselves on that.
Okay.
Because it's a pretty heavy duty deal. And you've got to have all the checks and balances in there and doing your part.
Okay.
And you're going to have a hard time getting insurance to cover yourself.
Okay.
Wow.
So what are they looking for in specific? Is it just
It's really anything to do if you're a 21-year-old and you beat up a 16-year-old, that's going to come up as a violence against a kid, and or obviously a pedophile or something like that. Any kind of assault or anything against a child is going to be what's going to pop you. If it's a DUI or you broke into your neighbor's house or whatever, that's up to your guys' individual businesses. We're just looking for offenses against kids.
Okay.
Cool.
Whew, that's
So I'm sure if some does happen, there's going to be a large offense, right? Or
there's already a couple lawsuits out there for some random things that have happened that it's really most of the sanctioning bodies are really nervous about it.
Okay.
I mean, if the head of USA Baseball is nervous about this law, the little random guy running tournaments down the street should be really worried.
yeah, for sure.
right. I tell you. Okay. So if you're not, I think there was a collective sigh of.
Was it about the DUI part?
Yeah.
The DUI part.
I ain't throwing no names out there, but I know a couple.
Not it.
Yeah, but no, I mean, so there's good clarification on that. So are you guys, make sure you guys take that background check. My man Larry House, Larry, am I saying your name correctly? Because I want to make sure I'm doing it correctly. But he says that all their umpires are background check as well. So how about the umpires?
Yeah, all the umpires have been getting their background checks taken care of. It's been an ongoing process. I think probably 90% of them are complete. I think I had a couple guys that we had to get emails for them and that to get them in, but I think it was down to 1 or 2 guys that we were checking on.
Okay, so so everybody's getting checked.
Yeah, no, that's great.
No, it is good, and I think it's going to be some people are going to perceive it as a hassle, just because, man, if you invoke change, people are just gonna they're not gonna want to accept it, right? But I think doing that is actually going to work out well in the long run for everybody. Yeah. So you may as well embrace it. Like we talked about, maybe it should have been done a long time ago. Maybe it wasn't. But we're here now.
How could you, as a coach, a parent, a dad, whatever, how could you even say anything about getting background checked? Yeah. Especially for this subject. It's like, dude, it's like, come on, man, really?
Well, and I think some of the clarification right now, I think some people are scared of getting background checks because of maybe they have something in their past, whatever that may be.
Oh no, we did the umpire meeting a while back, and I had 50 guys in the room, and I'm talking about this law and everything, and then we're doing background checks on everybody, and I leave the room. I had like one or two guys like, "Hey man, can you come here and talk to me?" And so I'm like, what's up? Well, I had this. And I'm like, no, dude, you're okay, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah, because you start saying background checks and urine analysis, and man, people start dropping like flies, man. They just especially in Pasadena. But
That one definitely would cause us more problems. The urine analysis.
but yeah, so that's good. So do you have anything else on that?
No, I mean, look, we saw a bunch of people talk about it on the group, and one of the concerns was just about I guess, what is the punishment? And the reason why I bring this up is we all saw the video that was posted. Apparently, this happened in USSSA Florida. Am I correct about the coach going onto the field?
And bucked up against the umpire.
Yeah, he bucked up against the umpire. I believe there was suspensions and that sort. Did you not get to see the video?
I didn't even see the video. Okay. I mean, that wouldn't have anything to do with the safe sport thing.
Okay. It's on our page.
That's strictly if you go. I mean, bumping an official, attacking an official can cause you to go to prison. I mean, it's a major offense. I mean, and then at the very least, if you make contact with the official by rule with USSSA, it's a year suspension. Okay. I mean, and so especially if the umpire
any contact, right?
You're not supposed to touch them. I mean, if the umpire is good enough and that he thinks it's incidental contact or whatever kind of happened, he's doesn't want to push it, then we're good. Okay. I mean, then you're going to be fine. But if he wants to press charges or just push the issue, you're going to be suspended a while.
I understand everybody's out there in the realm of competition, but I just can't see a coach getting no. I can see it happening. I don't understand why it would happen. Are you that pissed off?
And I mean, this goes back to what we talked about, and you probably get plenty of calls in on this about the zero tolerance thing we put in the fall.
Right.
And it really, my directors were so happy we did it because in the past I let guys get away with way too much on the field, and so my umpires were told not to kick people out. And so, but now when I told my guys this fall, like, look, if somebody's still pissed off 10, 15 minutes later by the time you get over there, that guy needs to leave.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can have their 30 seconds. You want to throw your hat down? You want to yell at people for a couple minutes? I mean, it's going to happen, right?
Right.
But if you're still pissed off and can't control yourself 5-10 minutes later, you need to leave the park. We had in the fall, we had probably 3 teams get completely kicked out of the event. They were sent home. The whole team because they couldn't control a parent in the stands. And then we had several coaches for the first time ever where we walked them out of the park. And so it made everybody's life a lot more pleasurable at the park. The other teams, the umpires, my directors were happier. And it started to take care of the behavior. Those guys were not the same guys the next week because it's always the same 5-6 guys that get out of hand. And so it's everybody else is fine for the most part, but it really did help us overall run better events during the fall.
Look, I have the video pulled up, so let's watch it. It's about 50 seconds, so that way you. Okay. Oh, so I'm running backwards.
Roy, we're not freeing Pete Rose either, Roy. You know that.
All right, so here we go. Peter, there's
he fouled off the first time.
Yeah, here we go. And I did get a DM that somebody's kid was at this tournament, so they got to experience it live.
I hear the kid pointing at him, kicks him out. And here comes the coach. Bucks him.
Oh.
He needs to be gone.
And then he throws that to his face.
That's a year suspension, minimum.
Well, I think I heard it was 5 months, wasn't it? Somebody posted
on there, but there you have it, man.
So all that for only 5 months?
What event was that?
It appears to be
South Florida.
South
local
Florida.
Tournament. It was your trip. Somebody confirmed it was.
It was you trip.
Well, it says right there. Not sure if it was you trip.
Okay.
That's the state director that's going to have that responsibility. But if that happens in Houston, that guy's pretty much gone a year minimum.
Okay. What's up, Joe Garcia? So let me ask you a question. So if a coach, I like the rule that high school has right now, UIO. So if a high school coach gets kicked out, they got to go to Austin. They got to meet with UIO.
Yeah.
It's a big inconvenience for that coach and the AD or representative.
And the umpire has to go too.
Yeah. So everybody has to go up there.
Yeah.
So that's a big inconvenience, and that has really curtailed any BS from the high school coach.
That's always been the case.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's been that way for a long time.
Yeah. So at some point in time, if the coach gets suspended for a year, does he have to meet with somebody, or is it just a year from that date to the next, and it's just?
Obviously, I mean, we try not to like kick people out. They're making a living, a lot of these guys coaching and stuff, so we don't want to affect that. I mean, so we're going to look at it and try our best not to have that happen. But I mean, like that guy throwing, I mean, fake the punch and then threw the glasses at his face. I mean, come on, that's a little bit. That guy's going to have to like go through some anger management classes or something. I mean,
oh man.
And so we're going to try to work with everybody we can, but I mean, we got to protect everybody at the park, right? Okay. We don't want another incident like happened this last summer, and so with a brawl in the field and stuff like that. So we're trying to get rid of that from the game. There's no place for it. Now,
when you're talking about protecting people at the park, is there anything in place or is there a measurable to try to contain some of these parents, or is it not as big of a deal?
It's like the two teams we keep out of the tournament. As soon as that parent, he would not control his parents. The coach's responsibility to control the parent. Okay. So as soon as he couldn't do that, and that guy wouldn't leave, and the coach says, "Hey, it's out of my hands," we sent the team home. Okay. Immediately, it's like, dude, you guys are gone. Okay. We're done for the day. It's over. And we've never done that in 15 years. Wow. We did it twice this fall.
Yeah, wow. And unfortunately, that was a bad look for those two teams. I mean, and I forgot the teams that were involved in that. However, is there a big problem with parents as far as being in the stands, trying to interject themselves within the game, or trying to do something to an umpire,
We've all been there. We see it. I mean, it happens all the time. I mean, let's face it. I mean, even myself, I've been doing this 15 years on the tournament side. I call my boss twice a weekend, 3 times a weekend. I know the rule, but I want to double check it.
Correct.
So, and he was a D1 umpire. He's never been wrong on a rules interpretation. So I'm calling him all the time. And so it's hard for these parents and for some of the coaches, and a lot of the coaches even don't know the rule 100%. And so they think they do. And then that causes problems and anger. And then they just lose their mind basically. Mm-hmm. And so we're trying to get that out of it, at least in our Houston events. And so to where if they're going to get that out of hand, we're just sending the whole team home. I mean, simple as that. We're not going to put up with it.
Yeah, and the good teams, the coaches have their parents in check. Well, for lack of a better term, but they can stop that. Yeah, but so if you're on a team, Junior, and you have a parent that's being belligerent, obnoxious, what would you do if you're the coach? Would you put them to the side? You go to the fence? What would you do?
It depends on the situation, but yeah,
I just gave you the situation.
Okay, situation. Now, is this a repeat offender or first time?
Bro.
Okay, repeat
Answer
offender.
the question.
Okay. I'd pull him aside, man.
Okay.
Give him a talk.
That's what we need. Okay.
Let him know what's going on.
Now, if he was your friend, what would you do?
I still pull him to the side, man, because it's like how Darren was saying. It just gives a bad look to everybody, man.
Right.
It makes things escalate more than they should.
What I used to do, I had a couple guys that were like, "Come here, man. Go in the dugout with me." And so I'm like, you can say that same stuff in the dugout, maybe. Yeah. They just stand there, but now it looks bad. Yeah. And then they'll shut up and just go sit in the corner. They don't want to go on the field.
You see that question from Gina Martinez? You could probably read it better than I can.
Yeah. It says, how would you verify a coach or a parent in the field has one done? Would they? I'm not understanding the last part of it.
Is that about background check or?
Yes. For the background.
So I mean, we have to have a list of here's what our responsibility is. Okay. Our responsibility is to ask every manager of the team if they had a background check. Okay. If they lie to us, we've done our due diligence. We can't go and verify everybody's background check. Okay. So they've now assumed responsibility by telling us that of their organization. Okay. Now it's their responsibility to get everybody else they're putting on the field a background check. If they don't, they're going to have liability. They also like USA Baseball. Part of their rules is their coaches can't talk to a player before or after 8 o'clock in the morning, or before 8 o'clock in the morning, or after 8 p.m. at night. And if they do talk to a player, it has to be in a group text. It cannot be any one-on-one contact with a player. That's for USA Baseball. That's part of their rules. Wow. And so they've got things like that in place for their coaching staff. And then the other part is that you should never. I mean, unless it's your best friend's son, I guess. But I mean, you're not supposed to be driving and picking up players by themselves and taking them to games and events. Even though we used to do that as kids all the time. I mean, years ago. But it just puts them in a bad position, the coach and the player. And so for false accusations or for something to happen, but you're not supposed to be driving those kids. It's supposed to be multiple kids or somebody else in the car with you.
Damn.
Well, that just eliminated half of the Super NIT
Yeah,
teams.
because I know for sure, like it's always something every weekend with every team. Like, hey, the dad can't make it; they got a planned trip. But hey, little Johnny can stay. But can you pick him up? Now
Yeah.
it's an issue, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you basically need the rules in place. Obviously, if
Right.
hopefully nothing happens and all that, and people are going to do what they're going to do. But ideally, have mom pick them up. Don't put yourself, as a coach, don't put yourself in that position
Right.
for something to happen. I mean, especially with all the lawsuits that are probably going to be popping up. I mean, you just don't want to get caught up in that. And so we're kind of worried about the whole Me Too movement. And is this going to be like, hey, my kid did this because they're trying to make a buck off the insurance?
Yeah.
And so you need to be careful with it. It's going to be out there.
Yeah, and everybody should. I mean,
so other than background checks for coaches, anything else planning or going on for coaches that they should know about? Anything?
The coaches app?
Yeah, the coaches.
There you go. So the couple of new things, we're always trying to do better with our events, right?
Okay.
So this year we're using 3. In the past, we've had one umpire chief that's got most of the umpires. He's doing a great job, but we're adding 2 other UICs to the mix so we can get a little access to a few more umpires and hopefully have higher quality guys. The other thing we've done is that USSSA has come out with we have a new national umpire head of umpires, and he's a Big 12 crew chief. He's umpired at every level of baseball, minor leagues, Major League Baseball, all of that. And so he's developed what's called an ump app. And so everybody's learning off their phones. So all my guys are in the process this week of having this ump app loaded onto their phone. And what that does for me, it gives them videos of every situation that can happen on the field. And then it also gives them tests they have to take for rules. And then I have the ability to be able to monitor to see if they've taken the test and how they did on the test. And so it's really convenient for us. And so it's going to help us with the education process of the umpires. And then also if they make a mistake in between games on a call, if they made a mistake on a call, they can go pull up the video in between games and kind of see how it's supposed to actually be called. And so hopefully that's going to help educate these guys and get them to do a better job in areas. I mean, a lot of these guys, 80% of the guys nationally do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's that 20% that really stick out. And it doesn't matter if you're in California or Washington State or Vegas or wherever it's at, you're going to find some bad umpires. I mean, it's just kind of the way it is.
right.
And then with that, what we've done is, and no offense to any coaches out there or anybody else, but he's also developed what's called the coaches app. And so, and they can get everybody on the team can get access to it. I guess the parents can look at it too if you want to pass the password on to the parents. But it's going to have this. It's going to be geared more towards parents, but it's the same rule stuff, the same videos, and then it's not going to tell you about positioning of umpires and stuff like that. But it's basically going to tell you different examples of the rules, and so that way you can kind of educate yourself on what exactly it's supposed to be. Is it something you're right on, or was it an old wives' tale, basically? And so, and then that's on our website, the HoustonBaseballTournaments.com website. You can go on there. It says Coaches App, Ump App on there. And it's $50 for a team, and the umpire guy developed that app. It all goes to him. We don't make any money off that $50, but it's for everybody on the team. And so we want to get everybody to learn the rules a little bit more. And so
Cool.
And
So on this app, if the coach doesn't do these tests, are they going to
no
that's
tests. That's only for the umpire.
That's for the
umpires?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have the coaches will just have it. If they want to make their guys take a test on there, I'm sure they can. I mean, we can figure that out. But I'll give them I'll get them the ump app if they want, and they can monitor their guys on follow, so they learn the rules.
Okay.
But the coaches app isn't designed for that, and so that's just something you do with your organization. You put it out to everybody so they can kind of like, hey, this. I mean, when we were in California, we had a kid swing through a pitch, end up in the batter's box. Everybody, even myself, always been kind of under the impression like, hey, the catcher's got to come up and make contact with the batter in order to get an interference call. Okay, well, on the test we were taking, I'm like, I just read it the night before, and it's like, oh, he doesn't actually have to throw the ball when he ends up in the way. If he's in the way and I can't make the throw, it's in the umpire's opinion. He's in the way, it's an out. And so it's the little things like that. It's gonna tell you what the rule actually is supposed to be.
Okay, cool. Look, we have Cody Lanham. Shout out Cody. He just wrote on here. I was part of PBUA, Pasadena Baseball Umpire Association for 9 years. We're required annually to take a test and score 90 or better, and then you have to retest. So
yeah, and this is multiple. We have multiple tests, and so
Okay.
the nice thing is about the guy that designed this in addition to it being a Big 12 crew chief, he's also the head umpire guy doing youth baseball up in Missouri. So he has a lot of experience with USSSA events because he works for the president of USSSA also. So he's got a number of years of doing youth baseball too in addition.
Okay.
So they've been doing a lot of research on this, of things that happen during tournaments and our rules and all of that. So just everything we can do to help educate the umpire. And then if we can help educate some coaches and some fans and stuff like that at the same time, I think that'd make it better for everybody.
Now, I like that concept. The flip side of that story, every coach thinks they know everything.
Oh no, they're not going to look at it, man. I'm like, it's like
I hate to say it.
Before I had access to the app, I told the umpire guy, I'm like, hey, can you send me a paper version of the first 30 questions, right? And so I was going to go to the meeting and have everybody take that test and do all of that, and so that's why I read through there, and there's probably 4 or 5 questions, and I'm like, man, I didn't realize that. I mean, and I see that stuff every weekend, and so it's just that random thing that you don't ever see, but once a year you just kind of forget or you misremember, basically.
Yeah, and that happens a lot too. I mean, one of the things is continuing education. There's a lot of professions out there that require that, so you can be up to date on some stuff. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how. Okay, so college coaches do it, MLB coaches do it, high school coaches do it. Select baseball doesn't, because you leave it up to them, and they're not going to do it because they know every damn thing. Am I right? Chingo?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chingo Bling in the house. I thought you were on tour.
No, I've had a couple coaches tell me like, hey, I'm not giving this app to the parents.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
exactly.
I don't want to get second guessed on it. And so, I mean.
Yeah. No, but, that's actually, how long was all this in the development?
I think he's been working on it a couple of years, basically.
Yeah, see, and that's, okay, people don't understand how long things are in the process before they actually get rolled out. And so I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a coach that, oh, man, well, I know everything. They just do it. But they don't understand the backstory on it and how long it's been. And I'm pretty sure there was just a couple of versions that probably didn't get submitted or probably got kicked out until you get to the final product. Mm-hmm. And then I'm sure that there's maybe 10 to 12 people that have to sign off on it in order for it to come out. So there's a lot of work involved in it. So I'm telling you that to tell you this. People should at least read it. I don't think hopefully they will. Hopefully they will.
Yeah, my umpires are going to have to, like, I just told the guys, my head umpire was dragging his feet on getting it implemented with the guys. And this week I kind of lit him up a little bit and like, dude, it's effective next week. Anybody that hasn't passed the test, I mean, they're not on the field. I mean, we have our best guys working this weekend, but like if they're not past that test by next week, we're going to different guys.
Okay.
So
yeah, and Chris Vasquez brings up a good thing is a lot of people don't understand how technology is supposed to be used now. I mean, you have a lot of people that are stuck in the 80s and 90s, and this is funny because I have a lot of friends that are in the coaching profession, and they're still not apt or up to date on social media. Mm-hmm. And they don't understand how important it is to programs and how important it is just to people in general. So I can see where that question would take place because, I mean, people just aren't. I mean, if you can embrace technology, then, man, your life is just a whole lot better and easier.
So we're talking coaches app. What about parents app? Anything working on for the parents?
I think they've got some. I think they've got some, but that coaches app, they can just let them have the pass.
Oh, okay.
I mean, spend the $50 one time for the whole team, man. I mean, it's worth
because
it.
Somebody's gonna be commenting on here if you got the what is it, the game changer stuff up for the S30 coming up for each field. Is that going to be happening?
We'll see. There's a good chance we may do something along those lines.
Okay. There you have it, folks. Breaking news.
Hey, but
I need to find some extra guys though, so we can pay them to do each game.
There you go. You heard it.
Yeah.
We're looking for guys, man.
Well, so go back to the parents app.
Let's do it.
I think that's a great idea.
Hell yeah.
Hey, you have a video of a guy punching another parent? Like, hey, don't do this.
Oh, I'm sure we can find one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of those. There's a lot of those out there.
There's a big fight RGV, right? There's somebody who hit got the bat.
Lady came out and just sucker punched one.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, that was in Little League though. Does that count?
Yeah.
That was the one on the field, right? Yeah, I remember.
She comes
that.
back, sneaks up behind him, hits him with the bat.
Yeah. Hey, you can't mess with RGB one. But so back to the parent app.
Okay.
I think that's a great idea. The only thing is half these parents think they know more than the coach. And so I don't know if they would actually look at it. But nowadays with technology, I mean, there's apps everywhere. So I mean, it's a little bit more in vogue now to actually look at it and just see what the information is done there.
Man,
I think it's a great idea.
You can build a little player profile and put all the game changer stats.
And the thing with this app, what they've found is he would go up to the fence and tell a guy how he blew a call, right, to educate him, and then he would do exactly the same thing the next game. And so by having it visual, when he showed a video of it, they understand the younger generation learns off their phone, right?
Right.
So they can look at the video and like, oh, now I understand what you said. And so now they can have a better chance of making the right call the next game or be in the right position to make a call.
Okay.
And so.
Yeah, well, that explains it right there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the biggest tournament that's going to happen in the United States of America.
Pretty much it, man.
It's coming down. We're looking at 500 teams. I'm going to pull this up real quick.
But before we start talking about that,
Good.
What I want to know is the backstory to how this tournament becomes really, really big. When do you start working on it?
Last year.
Okay, so it's about a year process.
Yeah,
in doing it.
We're super aggressive on everything. So last year, basically, it was on. Oh man, it was.
It was a spring break here, I think, right?
Yeah, but I mean, was it last year? About 3 months before the event, I was on Facebook dealing with MVP and Rod of those guys out there, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, come on out. I'll give you 30 rooms. I mean, we'll pay for 30 rooms for you guys. I have comp rooms in town available. You guys come on out." And so they brought out 5 teams or 6 teams or whatever it was, and so they had a great time in Houston. They enjoyed the fields, the umpires, believe it or not, and our umpires are better than they are in California.
I really don't have a problem with the umpires. I mean, you get one that's
you
maybe tired.
You got a couple guys, but I mean, we try to get
for the most part.
we try to get rid of those guys. But anyway, so he agreed to come. But even before that, we were already at 350, 400 teams.
Right.
I mean, it was already the biggest, toughest event in the state of Texas and Louisiana. I mean, as far as the teams that were coming into Houston, right? Yeah. And so it was already the deepest, hardest tournament to win in town. Mm-hmm. And so. I mean, you had to win 5 games on Sunday to win that tournament.
Tough, very tough.
And it's a brutal. You got to put your big boy pants on.
Yep.
And so when they came out, they basically started calling some other teams and stuff too. They had a great time, and so we've basically been planning since last year to like really blow it up, and that was my plan too. And so we've been advertising nationally for 6 months.
Okay.
And like the emails I send out in state, I've been sending those out nationally, and so not as often as I do in state, but. Probably once a month we send it out, and then we also blasted on Facebook in key cities around the country, and so it has helped. Like right now, I just had, I think it's AD something. One of the 12U teams out of California just jumped in the 12U division the last couple of days.
Nice.
They called me up. We have a team from, I get it on my phone all the time. It's like we have a team from Virginia, North Carolina, Michigan. We've got 2 or 3 organizations out of Florida bringing teams in. We have La Miranda out of NorCal. I think there's 2 or 3 organizations out of NorCal coming that are bringing 1 or 2 teams at least. MVP's bringing 9 or 10 teams, and then I think there's a couple of SoCal teams coming also. Okay. There was a Vegas team coming, but they put themselves in and they ended up having something come up, so I think they dropped out. There was a team from Washington State coming in, but it's too hard a trip for them to come with the flights and stuff like that, so they ended up backing out in the 11U division. And I know the normal Louisiana teams coming in and there I don't know if there's any Arizona teams in there or not.
Okay.
No, but there is a Michigan team.
Yeah.
And we are going to have the coach on the line later on the show, so we'll be able to talk to him and reach out to Motor City Hit Dogs coach Mark Hammond.
And also to compound on that, Darren, is as we get closer to the actual tournament, we're gonna have Kangaroo Court on, Ape National. We're gonna have
I forgot about Kangaroo Court. Florida.
So I got maybe the Oakley Spikes are gonna come on, so and Virginia Stars as well. So we're contacting all those teams so they can come on, so we can talk to them about it. So they can just give a little short 15-20 minute
why they're coming.
Yeah, exactly, and talk about themselves, because if you don't play in the national tournaments, you don't know who these teams are. Right. And so they can introduce themselves. Maybe they're going to be at Baseball USA, maybe wherever they're going to fall in or run into them. They know, maybe they know a little bit about them.
And the whole goal of it is, I was talking to somebody earlier today, my goal has been to have some type of national event during the summer in Houston. We're in the middle of the country. It's easier for the West Coast teams don't want to go to Florida all the time. It's a long trip, and the Florida teams don't like traveling west really. And so, if they can come to Houston on a 2 to 3 hour flight and get the best baseball and get them on good fields, and so we have plenty of turf fields in Houston. That's the goal. And so, and this tournament by far, my opinion, is the most diverse group of teams from around the country coming into one spot, other than maybe the last 1 or 2 events of the summer.
Okay. How come we don't have a big World Series just like what you're talking about? Is it because of we're not trying to compete with, and I say we like we work for USSSA, but are we not trying to compete with the other tournaments, or is it just because you just haven't really tried to do one? Because I think you can get it done.
Houston is kind of like the normal, like we have the World Series up in Dallas. Those teams stay local more. There's more teams up there. And their 5-hour drive time around it gets into more states.
Okay,
Houston has always, I think, been considered more the tougher place to go. So those Alabama teams don't come over. They don't want to get waxed when they come over, right? We've always just gotten the Louisiana teams. We've gotten the Valley teams to come up, and the Dallas teams will come down. And so we just have spent a lot of time over the last 5 or 6 years really making sure that this event means something. And it's really been the toughest on the Gulf Coast to win.
Right.
And so, and now we're just making it even more so with bringing all these teams in.
Yeah, this is a great tournament.
And let me touch on a subject. Somebody posted on the page the other day. Was it today or yesterday? They said something along the lines of, "Oh, Darren, you're paying for all these teams to come in here." Let's touch on that, man. That is not true, right?
No, I mean, this event cost me. I pay $125 a team to the national office, okay? And we don't really raise the price a whole lot. This year the major division got bumped up a little bit more because we have some extra stuff. But it's last year when I told Rob with MVP that I'd give him some rooms, I didn't take into account they're going to be here 3 days. and so I'm like, okay. I'm like, I think last year I kicked in like $1,500 to all their stuff. And I think he thought it was going to be like, hey, I'm going to pay for I'm going to give me a free registration too, right? Everybody paid registration, everybody paid gate fee, and I get some rooms for $50 at key hotels, and I get free rooms on comps because that's why we do the stay and play. And so I ended up giving him a bunch of my comps, and then I ended up giving him a check for like $1,500 to cover some other expenses for hotels. And then this year, I think we're giving them like 60. I'm giving them some rooms, but it's not the whole team. I mean, it's like 3 teams worth of rooms out of the 12 teams they're bringing, right? And then Rod doesn't have a kid coming, so I cover his room, and so he's like their recruiter guy for MVP. And it's almost, I don't want to say a partnership on the deal because he's really helped me contact a lot of these teams around the country. So it is kind of a partnership to where he's helping us do that. So in return, I'm giving him a little bit of love. Okay. And so he's helped build the event.
Okay, so I only saw a little bit of that transcript.
Yeah.
So what was the meaning? I mean, why didn't it start?
I'll tell you. This way, I called the dude because I called him. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about, man? Okay. He's like, well, I heard somebody said 2 years ago that you did this and this. I'm like, dude, they just came last year for the first time. I'm like, right. 2 years ago, nobody was here. I'm like, I'm paying $40,000 to the national office. I'm going to really pay 20, 30 grand in airline tickets? I mean, I'm like, dude, does that even make sense? I'm like, we were already at 400 teams. I don't need an extra 20 teams in the tournament. And I'm not going to spend 20 grand to get 20 teams in the tournament. It doesn't make no sense at all. And so the value of how good the event is takes care of that. Those parents all travel everywhere else. We're cheaper flights coming in here for California than going to Florida.
Yeah, by a lot.
And so we're basically here to run a good event. And even some local teams periodically that travel in, if I have a comp room or I have a $50 room I can get you, I help them out. I help them coach out. I mean, it's not. And I've got probably for the Super NIT, I probably have 60, 70, 80 comp rooms. And so it's like, here you go. And you've helped me get 15 extra teams, 20 extra teams. I mean, it makes sense, right?
It's just a part of doing business.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
now the person that was, I guess, had the questions, local?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really weird deal because
if they're local, I'm trying to figure out.
It was a 14. I thought it was this one coach. I won't say the organization. I didn't blow him up on Facebook because he was the whole conspiracy theory last year. Like, why aren't you doing this for the local team? I'm like, would you rather pay $20,000 to go play MVP in California? I mean, wouldn't you rather them come in and me spend $1,000 to get them to come? I mean, that's cheaper for you.
Yeah.
I mean, and you get to see the best team, one of the top teams in the country play. And so I thought that's who it was that he was talking to. So that's why I called him up. I'm like, did you get it from so-and-so? And he's like, no, I just heard it from this random guy. He had a 14-year-old. I think his kid plays pony or something. I mean, and so he just heard from a random guy 2 years ago.
Damn.
That was a long thread too, right?
Yeah,
And so I'm like,
going
dude,
off.
Okay.
I'm like, man.
And it's funny you bring that up because I saw how long it was. I said, man, I got to check out because
I'm like,
like I'll find out what happened on Friday.
dude, do you hit your head or something, man? I mean, does that even make sense?
Yeah, and when I read just a little couple of things, I was like, man, I hope this person is from Houston. No, excuse me. I hope this person isn't from Houston because if you are from Houston, then what difference does it make how you make the tournament?
Yeah.
I mean, it's your business. You do what you want to do.
But not only that, I think for everybody that's in the major level, you're trying to play the best. So if you're playing the same teams over and over and over, are you really getting better? And now we're actually having teams that are coming in, and we still got people that are complaining, which is crazy to me.
I thought it was a good thing to have those guys come in,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
for
It was
sure.
a great thing.
I mean,
I know Steve said they were going to run through everybody, and now they finally got some competition. They got a game.
No, we played 5. That
yeah.
5 was a lot.
You know?
oh no, I mean, when you, oh no, I mean, even when we shortened times in the past. This year will be full game times. We won't go to the hour 30s for those divisions, but I mean, if we went hour 40s playing 5 games, I mean, that's almost impossible, right? And so at an hour 30, everybody's getting plenty of games, but you were playing 5, and so. And there were some people, like, there's some local guys that are like, why are we playing on Monday and this and that? I'm like, I mean, I've had people leave the park at 1 in the morning. They're not going to school the next day anyway. I mean,
I'm with you on that.
And so
even
this
11.
way-
Agreed.
Yeah.
And then you go online and people are like, why are we playing so many games in a day? Well, now you're going to play 3. And so there'll be 3 games on Sunday. I mean, there may be a random team that might could get 4, but that's going to be a bottom seed that's going to get 4. And then I may cut it off where we just make sure it's going to be the 5. And then on that Monday, it's strictly the 9 major, 10 major, and 9 through 12 major.
Okay.
The 13 and 14-year-old majors are not going to play on Monday no matter what.
Okay.
I'm going to get those done on Sunday. All the AA and AAAs are just Saturday, Sunday, and so it's just really the 9-year-olds through 12 that have 20+ teams.
Mm-hmm.
And so then everybody on that group will be at Baseball USA, barring weather, on Monday. And we'll play at 8:30 or 9, depending on who the teams are going to be. We'll adjust depending on who the teams are, give them that extra half hour, and then they'll play at 8:30 and 10:30.
Okay.
And so that way they can all get on their 3 o'clock flights, and everybody's good.
Okay. So the most.
No, I take that back. Hopefully nobody's taking a flight after a game, and so because I'm hoping that Houston brings it a little stronger than we did last year, and we're not letting everybody else walk home with the hardware from Florida and California.
Yeah, for sure.
So all you Houston teams, y'all better get it going.
Man, there's a lot of pressure on you, Steve. You and Vic.
We'll see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. But so the drawback to the Monday, I've been hearing it from a lot of parents. I haven't really heard it from the coaches.
It's basically if you play major level ball nationally,
That's
you're playing on a school day.
Exactly.
I mean, there's
Exactly.
almost
Yeah,
every
for sure.
turn, the perfect game events,
Yeah.
USA Baseball, you're playing Friday and Monday.
So they better get used to it.
And so you get to high school, guess what? You're playing Thursday morning at 9 a.m. I mean, and then for the tournament, it's just the way it is. And you're gonna have to make arrangements. And I think the teams that have a realistic chance of making it to Monday all know the deal.
Yeah.
And so it's not. And in this way, it's like in Shreveport, they start on a Friday at noon, right? And that's just random draw. You're gonna play Friday at noon during the school day, but you might go 0-2. You wouldn't even be there. This way, at least you have to win your way into Monday, and to get the hardware that's gonna help pitching a little bit, rest some people, and it should be better ball.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you said 9, 10, 11,
And 12.
And 12, Monday, Baseball USA. That's the place to be, though.
Yeah. So
It's gonna
they'll
be
all be
amazing.
they'll all be in the same park.
Okay.
Now, if there's rain or something, the 11s will move to the rack just for turf. But otherwise, the 9 and 10-year-olds will be in the quad on the 210-foot fences on turf. The 11s and 12, the 11-year-olds will be on field 2 and 3 with the 225 down the line, 250 in center.
Okay.
And then the like we were talking about earlier, the 12-year-olds are going to be on the big boy fields. We're going to play on high school fields. They're going to play on 1 and 10 on the turf.
1 and 10.
So you're basically bring your outfielders, man.
Oh, we got them.
We
got them.
I mean,
we got them.
You're going to be. I mean, you're going to play on the turf on the nice fields, and you're going to be on the stadium and that. So everybody's on turf on that Monday, and let's get after it.
Yeah, we're used to playing on in stadiums and big fields, so we'll be all right. We got the people to do it.
Oh yeah,
hopefully.
for sure. And you know, we're talking about this big tournament and coaches that are gonna have to be staying here till Monday. And I got one of my good friends from Detroit, Michigan, on the phone line, the Ferrari Michelada Mix hotline. So, what's going on, Coach Mark?
What's good, man? What's good?
Hey, what's going on? So, just for the people that are listening, man, just tell us, you know, who you are, where you're from, and why you're coming down to Houston.
Yeah, so Mark Hammond, head coach of the 10U Motor City Hit Dogs. And, you know, we travel all over, you know, between Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, you know, Ohio, Illinois, Indiana. We kind of been everywhere. Been to Arizona this year. And we're excited to head down to Texas. And the main reason that we do it is we love the challenge of playing against great competition.
Okay. So you don't have a problem playing on Monday, right?
No.
All right, just to get that out the way. So real quick, Detroit, Michigan. Talk to us about the baseball in Detroit, Michigan and the surrounding areas, man.
Yeah, so we're actually out of Rochester Hills, which is north of Detroit. In the quality of baseball here in Michigan, I mean, to be real honest, there's really, I mean, there's a couple good teams and stuff, but they're not on our level. I meat Scott and Tony Leonard are owners of the Motor City Hit Dogs. They've done a great job building up the organization, and they're great baseball people and just great people in general. And so with kind of how we train to develop and teach our players, the quality of baseball here in Michigan isn't really around what we're capable of doing. That's kind of why we have to travel, I guess. So.
Okay, cool. Well, I know last year you guys were at the elite and you had a couple injured players. So I'm actually excited to see you guys at full strength come March.
Yeah, you know, that's true. Down in Florida last year, you know, we definitely weren't at full strength, and there was some big players too that weren't able to play for us. So, you know, we're excited to come down for sure and play here in Texas.
Sounds good.
Hey, Mark, this is Steve. Thanks for coming on the show with us. We're also here. We're joined by Darren Larson, the USSSA Director down here in Houston, and also for Houston, right, or Texas, something like that. Well,
hey, what's up, Darren?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Hey, Mark, I got a question for you. So when you propose coming to Houston to play in the Super NIT to your parents, are they receptive to it, or is there
No. Man, I got some great parents. I mean, I really do. They're super receptive to it. They, you know, we proposed it back in October, and actually, I'll tell you exactly how it went down. We had a parent meeting before our first practice. You know, back in October, is when we started our practices, and I brought it up to him. I said, hey, you know, here's kind of tentatively the schedule that we're looking at, and I want to throw out an idea of maybe trying to go somewhere new this year that we didn't go last year. And this tournament in Texas is one of the best tournaments in the nation. I've known about it, and through other buddies of mine that have been in the travel ball game for a while. So I brought it out to him, proposed it, and said, you know, basically told them all, you know, think on it and get back to me as soon as possible and let me know. And before we even concluded the meeting, everybody had said, yeah, we're in. Let's go. So it went over well.
And during the time that you're going to be here in Houston, we should have some great weather. So make sure.
Really? Why are you jinxing us that way, man? Come on, man. I mean, we don't talk about weather. We don't talk about weather.
Well,
hey, it's 20 degrees here in Michigan.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be better than that. It's gonna be better than that.
Yeah, and the reason why I was going to segue that into the bad weather that's normally attached to Michigan at this time, but since all three of you guys want to gang up on me. I'm sorry, Coach. I wasn't able to get that out. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Chingo.
Knock on some wood right here, man.
It's freezing outside right now, so we're definitely ready.
20 degrees, you said. Is it snowing over there?
We got snow on the ground. It's not snowing right now. But,
Oh, man.
He doesn't even wear a jacket when he goes outside, man. He's used to that 20 degrees.
That's awesome, man. Well, hey, we're gonna try to have a little coaches, I guess like a lounge type podcast episode when you guys come down. So hopefully we can get you on, Coach Mark, and we're looking forward to having you guys compete in the 10U division, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thanks for having me on. Thanks, Darren, for having us down. Like I said, again, we're really looking forward to it and playing against the really good competition that we should see down there. So.
We appreciate hardcore baseball guys. It looks like we have too many people from California moving out here, I guess, in Texas. So you're a little soft on the whole Monday thing.
Hey, Coach. Hey, Coach. Before we let you go, let me ask you a question. So, will you be arriving in Houston on Friday, or when are you coming in?
Yeah, I actually pretty much all the team as well. But we fly in on Friday, and then we're actually going to fly out. Some are flying out Tuesday morning. Some are flying out late Monday night. So.
Now, is that spring break for you guys up there in Michigan during this time?
Oh. No. Spring break is the end of March for us.
Okay, so we have people complaining about 1 day. They're going to do 2 days. So
well, they're going on vacation Monday afternoon after we get done by 1, right?
Yeah.
They got NASA, Kima.
Yeah.
Maybe they can see the Astros.
All right, sounds good, Coach. Hey, I appreciate you having you on, man, and we'll see you soon. I'll have a shirt for you.
All right, buddy. Sounds great. Thanks again.
All right,
Coach.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you
sir.
guys, man.
All right, later, man.
All right, there you have it, man. Coach Mark Hammond
From the Motor City Hit Dogs.
Motor City Hit Dogs. And
Nice.
I also got one of my good friends from Strike Zone, Danny Quiles, will be calling into the show in a couple minutes. We will conduct his interview in Spanish, so we will debut a little bit of Spanish on the show, so I'm kind of excited about that. But
Really?
hey, man, yeah.
Okay.
But hey, shout
Are you
out.
trying to pick on me or something?
No.
hey, shout out to Bev Woodard.
Yeah.
Are the turkey legs going to be available on Monday at Baseball USA?
Dude, I have no idea. We may have to bring in somebody.
Can we take some Ferrari Michelada mix in there?
Dude, bring it on. I may just have to have a coach's lounge on Monday or something.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. I know the front office in Marushi's got a nice little spot.
Maybe I'll bring some calzones up from my pizza place down in Lake Jackson.
There you go.
Good.
There you go.
Yes,
That's
good.
what's up.
Good. Hey, listen. So, Junior, on Friday, what is that? It's going to be on Friday, right?
Yes.
That the little shindig, and
Yes.
we'll talk about it a little bit later on. So, what will happen is, hey, Darren, you know how to speak Spanglish?
I told you I've been watching the Narcos Mexican version. That's all subtitled. It's all subtitled. I picked up a few words.
Season 2 on Thursday.
I'm still on season 1.
Okay.
I mean,
You can segue right to it.
I think I've got some words. I'm getting closer.
Season 2 on Thursday.
Oh,
We should get paid for that.
also, I got a text right now. Yes, the WINDUP Houston area rankings will be debuting before the show's over. So stay tuned. See if you made the cut, because we're going to let you know who's the top teams are in the city, man.
And just to let Chingo Bling and his group of minions were the ones who actually did this.
No. You know, just like the Astros had the code breaker formula, I'm using the formula. I'm using the NCAA RPI formula.
But this top 10, is it top 10 or top 5?
Just top 5.
Okay, so me and Julio don't know. We don't know anything.
Julio and Steve and Darren have no idea.
Disclaimer: Darren Larson has nothing to do with the top 10. Has nothing to do with the top 10 list.
And so what happens is the Junior's like, okay, we're gonna do a top 10, or we're gonna do top teams in Houston. I'm like, dude, don't tell me who it is.
Hey, man, there was a lot of pressure on that, huh? We made a little post, and then we saw somebody else try to get some rankings, and I got a lot of feedback, and this is the feedback I got.
What'd you get?
They better not be popularity rankings. That's all they said. People better not vote on them. I was like, don't worry, I got some good formulas we're gonna work with. So
you got like an algorithm.
An algorithm, yeah. And some of it, man, I'm telling you, some people are gonna be shocked.
Okay.
But we're coming with the truth.
Okay. So algorithm and Sam Rayburn I don't know if they mix.
Mind blown.
I don't know if they mix.
man.
I'm just.
I think any top 10 list in the city of Houston, if you're just doing Houston teams, it should be eye test.
Yeah, for sure.
You need to go. You
Yeah.
need to see it. You need to see them.
I'm
For
with you.
sure. And then there was also a rumor about a player rankings, and it was going to start from 7U all the way up to like 15U. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. That's not going to work because everybody and their mama is hitting 1,000 in coach pitch. That's what's going to happen, and then it's just going to keep going. If we're going to start a player ranking system, 12U and up,
Okay.
starting at a minimum.
Well, shout out to Lucas Zambrano watching in the RGV. What's up, Lucas? Did you see this one right here about the wind up live at the tournament and interview some coaches and players?
Yes,
We're already
yes.
in talks about.
Yeah,
Did we talk
yeah.
about that earlier?
No, we have not talked about
Okay.
that.
My
So
bad, Chris.
just to touch up on that, we mentioned it a little bit earlier, like about 5 minutes ago.
It's in the works.
Championship Monday will be there. So, just get ready for that.
I also have a videographer going to be there all weekend doing interviews and things like that I've paid. I got 2 guys going to be there Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
There you go.
Nice.
So there we go. It's going to be big.
So
I'm
hopefully you're
excited.
there on Monday.
Yeah, hopefully we're there. Hey, and if you don't make it till Monday, at least show up. Call in and see the best of the
I
best,
think
right?
spring break starts that Monday for some schools.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, if you're serious ball player, serious parent, that's where you should want to be at, right? Spring break.
Yeah.
See where you stack up, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I had a story real quick. So I think we were at 10U. Yeah, I think we were 10U. So we got eliminated at the elite, and so that Saturday, what was it? Saturday? No, I think it was Sunday. Sunday they were going to play the championship game, and so I was staying right there at my favorite hotel, right there by the complex in Vieira. So I woke up early. I always wake up early. And to what you just said, I went to go see the Alamo Drillers and MVP Hustle. We were 10. I saw 11U. Man, that was one of the best games I saw. And it was just good just to go see just the game, not have anything. Now, obviously, we were disappointed because we got eliminated the day before. But just going to watch baseball, you get to see. I already knew what the Drillers were, and I've seen that MVP Hustle team from afar. But I actually got to just watch the game by myself. No wife, no kids. It was just me. I was the only one up at 8 o'clock. It was awesome. So I would,
Yeah.
if you get a chance to go watch some of these teams play, you should.
especially like on Super NIT weekend. I mean, Big League Dreams is going to have 90% of the 12 major teams. So they're all going to be in one spot for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
The 10U has been an awesome venue at Sienna Plantation with having 90% of the teams right there in that quad.
Right.
And so you can go field to field and watch those teams all day long. It's really a nice place to play for those guys.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'll be there. Since it's right by my house, I'll be right there.
Sienna?
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve lives in that big ass house before you pull
I'm
up
gonna,
to the Sienna.
I'm gonna take my golf cart.
His golf cart. If you
And
see
put
the
some new rims on
if you
it.
see the white Bentley, that's Steve.
Yeah, so I'm gonna.
That's awesome.
It's just
man.
it's just gonna be a good time for just some good baseball, and one of the main things is I like kangaroo. I like Kangaroo Court. I don't like it when you play them because obviously they're a good team. But when I was talking to the coach and he's going to come on later on, not today, but later on during the month, I mean, they're going to probably set up their Ruse TV. They're going to have their play-by-play, and they travel well. So if you've never seen Kangaroo Court play, I think you should.
They have the blue or yellow pants, right? That's what they use.
Well, it all depends. They got different uniforms.
Kangaroo Court.
Yeah.
So what do they call it? The Ruse?
The Ruse.
I think that 12U division has gotten tougher and tougher, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, that other team from California jumping in, I think they're one of the better teams.
Okay.
Wow, say coming, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and so the Kangaroo Court's in the 12U too, or are they in the 11U? Are they in
No.
the 11U?
Well, I know the 12U's coming.
Okay.
I know 12U's coming because I talked to the coach.
Yeah.
And so, but all divisions are going to be good. I mean, just across the board, it's just, if you're going to be ready or not.
It's always been tough anyway. I mean, last year MVP came out in the 10U. They got beat in quarters. I mean, and they almost lost the first game of the day on Sunday.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the 12Us ran through it. But, I mean, and then you guys in that 11U game was tough at the end of the day. But, and then the Drillers got beat on Sunday, the first game out of the gate.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, the little kid, we had a kid move in from Florida that was on USA Baseball this last year. And Marco had a chance to get that kid too, and so he shoved on him, and I mean he shoved him down. They didn't get it. I don't think they scored a run, maybe one, and they were out early. MVP came to play them, and so
yeah, well that's what happened. And you're right, Dave. There's no high cast at Siena.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know,
maybe we can stream something, right?
that's gonna be kind of tough.
Nah, man, we got cameras. We just need Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi.
Huh?
And we're gonna do. All right, man. Well, hold on. In the Ferrari Michelada hotline, we got the next coach coming up, and we will do this interview in Spanish. So, Dani, bienvenido al show, amigo.
Hey, amigo, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, bien, bien.
Buenas noches,
Estamos
saludos a
aquí
todos.
con Darren, estamos aquí con Steve. Queremos hablar Strike Zone. Dinos del equipo de Strike Zone, cuáles son las metas, qué es lo que esperamos de Strike Zone. Y sí van a jugar en el S30, ¿verdad?
Sí, esos son los planes del equipo. Nos estamos preparando bastante bien, ¿ves? Para representar a Houston y a Texas como debe ser.
Sí.
Trabajando duro en cada práctica y esperando que llegue ese gran torneo que está organizando la ciudad de Houston.
Sí. Ahorita tenemos equipos desde Detroit, Michigan, tenemos de Los Ángeles, Florida, Oklahoma, Luisiana. So, el torneo va a estar, como dicen, bien lleno de equipos muy buenos. ¿Y qué es lo que esperamos de Strike Zone? ¿Cómo les ha ido a ustedes? Yo sé que es un equipo de niños que han jugado antes juntos, pero un equipo nuevo, ¿verdad?
Sí, correctamente. Un equipo que lo organizamos, ¿verdad? En el fall. Al saber que habían tantos jugadores disponibles buscando equipos, pues decidimos organizar este gran equipo y gracias a Dios todo salió muy bien.
Sí.
Comenzamos a jugar y empezamos a ver resultados rápidos, pero pues trabajando fuerte en cada práctica, tú sabes.
Ok. Y felicidades por ganar el NIT allá en Dallas. Tuvieron, sí, estaba mirando los juegos por el Game Changer. So, felicidades a ustedes por ganar y sí van a ir para Florida, ¿verdad?
Gracias, sí, claro que sí. Eso está dentro. Esa era una de nuestras metas en el fall, tratar de lograr la clasificación temprana para poder organizarnos como equipo y gracias a Dios pudimos lograr, ¿verdad?, clasificar y estamos muy contentos por eso, de verdad que.
Muy bien. Y yo sé que desde que empezaron el equipo hasta ahorita han adherido a unos cuantos niños. ¿Cómo te sientes 3 semanas antes de que empiece el torneo del S30? ¿Te sientes bien? ¿Todavía te falta poquita práctica? Háblanos de eso.
Sí, nos sentimos muy bien, nos estamos preparando, apenas hace como 2-3 semanas comenzamos a entrenar, a prepararnos, estamos trabajando duro, vamos, si Dios permite, jugar un torneo entre mañana y el domingo, como preparación, ¿verdad?, para el equipo, para que puedan obtener unos juegos antes de ese gran torneo, pero tenemos que seguir trabajando. Seguir preparándonos para poder llegar listos a ese gran torneo que para mí yo considero que es una serie mundial.
Sí.
Es como ir al Elite 32.
Okay.
Creo que va a ser un gran torneo y toda la ciudad de Houston debe de estar orgullosa de ese gran torneo.
Y aparte de ir a Florida a jugar en el torneo del Elite, ¿van a jugar en otros torneos alrededor?
Sí, tenemos planes de ir, vamos a jugar local bastante, pero tenemos planes de ir a Luisiana, tenemos planes de ir en Atlanta para el Perfect Game en junio, ya estamos ahí y vamos a seguir preparándonos para seguir representando a Houston, es la meta de nosotros, seguir mejorando el equipo cada día y son niños de 10 años, Junior.
Sí,
hay que seguir trabajando y yo no pienso que van a estar listos siempre. Siempre hay algo que trabajar, algo que mejorar, algo que afinar en cada niño, porque son niños de 10 años y estamos en desarrollo para ellos.
Sí. Ahorita que estaba mirando los comentarios aquí en el chat, mándame saludos a Felix. Nos está mandando saludos aquí al show.
Seguro que sí.
Okay, muy bien. Yo sé que todos van a preguntar ahorita, ¿le has cortado el pelo a Carlos Correa?
Últimamente no. Yo George Springer. George Springer siempre viene al show.
Oh, ok. Pues para la otra le manda saludos a George Springer de parte de aquí del Wind Up. Y mira, para que mires, enséñale este video a George. Tenemos aquí la vela de George Springer, como puedes ver. ¿Ya está en la cámara, Julio? Ya. So, aquí tenemos la vela de George Springer. Ojalá que nunca se vaya aquí de los Astros, pero que si no voy a tener que prender la vela. O nomás, ahí le enseñas clip.
Les voy a anticipar un secreto. No todo el mundo lo sabe. Él no quiere salir de Houston.
Oh, yeah. Well, aquí lo tenemos. Quebramos las noticias.
Él quiere mantenerse aquí. Él ama esta ciudad y me lo ha dicho personalmente. Pues esperemos que la organización de los Astros lo tome en cuenta y lo mantenga como un jugador de franquicia.
Ok. Pues muchas gracias por aceptar la entrevista aquí, Danny. Y como te digo, este fin de semana yo creo que muchos de los equipos vamos a jugar. Nosotros vamos a jugar con los de 11. So, si hay chance y te miro por ahí, te saludo y felicidades y espero que tengan una buena temporada.
No, gracias a ti, hermano, por tenerme en tu programa y felicidades a ambos. Han hecho un gran trabajo con ese programa. Creo que toda persona que se dedica al béisbol siempre está pendiente a su programa cada semana. Así que felicidades y denle duro y sigan para adelante.
Muchas gracias. Ok, Dani, ahí estamos en contacto, papá. Con cuidado.
Bien, Dios los bendiga.
Vale, gracias. Cuídate. All right, there you go. We had Coach Danny Quiles from Strike Zone.
Shit, we had some breaking news.
Ooh. He broke some news. So George Springer loves Houston, doesn't want to go anywhere. So there you have it. We broke some news. We broke some news, man. So we showed him the candle.
I think it was a candle.
Yeah, it's because
I think it's a candle.
I asked him if he had cut Carlos Correa's hair recently, and he's like, no, but Springer's for sure. So shout out to Strike Zone, man.
Hey, was he in Pasadena? All them cop cars?
I don't know where those sirens came from.
Shoot, man, I thought we were outside. I mean, that sucker was like right there.
I thought SWAT was gonna come in and break through the windows and stuff.
Hey, hold on. Before we move forward, make sure you guys are subscribing or following our Instagram pages, Twitter, and Facebook at the WINDUP HTX. That is at the WINDUP HTX to follow all our news, any breaking news that we have, any links to our podcast, and anything that has to do with anything of our show, you'll find it on there. Also, make sure that you like and follow our sponsors, C4 Bat Company, Isa Cookies, and Ferrari Michelada Mix. And soon to have a new sponsor that we will break.
Yeah, and also be on the lookout for the Wind Up Media Group website that's in development right now. It's going to have a lot of information on there, and we'll talk about it as it becomes closer to debuting. But make sure we go and look at the Isa cookies. Ate some yesterday. Suckers were good. Yeah. I don't need to eat any more cookies.
I'm off my diet. I want a cookie. I want a cookie. It's my cheat day.
Oh, okay.
double cheat day.
All right. Well, I think Isa will be here shortly, so she'll bring us some cookies. But
you know what? Okay, so Beth's asking me if we're gonna do a tailgate.
Tailgate?
I'm assuming that's. Oh, she's gonna be at Sienna, right?
Yeah, she'll be at Sienna. Miss Beth, yes, we'll have a tailgate.
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna try to do that. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna be in another venue playing.
Yeah,
Mondays.
Your games are at 8 and 4.
Oh,
you have
time. There you go. There you have it.
Okay.
ZT so get the 8 o'clock game. They get the Legend Special or what?
Yeah.
Now we're getting treated like the Pasadena Legends for 7:30 game.
Oh man, Miss Beth said I can bring my tiny grill. You think they'll kick me out if I bring my little grill? It's about a 12-inch in diameter.
You just never know at Sienna, man.
Yeah, it depends who comes up, who comes and talks to you. I mean, you'll be all right. I mean, trust me. If you go in your Chingo Bling outfit, you're good.
Hey, do you know Jimmy Atkinson?
You're weed eater, man. You're good.
Yeah. I was gonna say that too, Darren. Me and Darren on the same page.
I guess I'm not the host. I shouldn't have said that. My bad.
You're good. Look, Jimmy Atkinson said, "Hey, it was good to see Darren. Been trying to get up with him for years."
I'm easy, man. I'm everywhere.
Give him your phone number, Darren.
Dude, come on.
Everybody has his phone.
I put my phone. How many times on Facebook you see me put my phone number, man? I'm like, call me.
Call me. You got a problem? Call him.
Yeah.
Hey, Darren's quick. Hey, call me. Here's my number. I will give you that. I will give you that.
Hey, we got one of the comments here saying, Darren, what do you think about the USSSA All-American games?
Oh, my God. You guys are going to get me in trouble, man. I mean,
Yay or nay? Yay or nay?
You're gonna get me fired.
Yay or nay?
So, oh my God, Team Texas events way better. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Okay. All right.
The all-state games we have. The all-state games we have. I mean, if you want to go to Florida, go to Florida. But I mean, if you want, the competition's better. I mean, we're gonna have. It'll be expanded this year a little bit too.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about Team Texas, man. You guys had a great show out in California for the MLK Super NIT. So just talk to us about Team Texas, like the direction where it's going and stuff like that.
I mean, the misnomer everybody out there on the Team Texas stuff. Look, we're not trying to replace NBA players. We're just playing when nobody else is playing, and we're trying to expose them to uncomfortable positions. So like when we went out to California, we've got 12 kids on the team that most of them don't know each other. They don't know the coaches. We just show up. We don't practice. We just go out there. This year we practiced one day and during Christmas break, but we just show up and ball out. I mean, the kids are uncomfortable. They don't know anybody. Some kids can handle it. Some can't. Right. It gives them a chance to work on it. I had a kid from Washington come down, batted in the 2-hole on that 10-year-old team. Mm-hmm. Raked all weekend, but like defensively and running the bases, man, he just froze up. He had a hard time dealing with the new environment, but killed it at the plate. Yeah. And other kids thrive in that situation. And so he knows he needs to work on that now. It's really about making those kids uncomfortable. And heck, I mean, for everybody that says we don't have that good of players going anywhere, I mean, sometimes it's tough. They don't practice before they go, but that 10-year-old team, we lost to the number one team in the country by a run in the 8th inning. And we out-hit them 2-1.
And should have won.
No, we should have won. I mean,
sure. It was a great game.
Yeah, I mean, it was 8 innings, lost 8-7, and we had a couple opportunities. And
how long was that game? That was about 2.5 hours, right?
Yeah,
probably more.
Yeah, it was long.
It was good. I mean, it was a tough game. I mean, and they scored all their runs, 5 of their runs in 1 inning, not bunting. I mean, we out-hit them for sure. Mm-hmm. And so, little pitcher pitched great, and it was a lot. It was a lot of fun. So, but what we're basically trying to do is try to make it more of a national thing, and we're probably going to do a Team Texas National where we're bringing in some kids from around the country to put them on a Texas team and go to a couple locations so we upgrade the quality of the guys we have. Okay. And so kind of like what MVP would do, but and again, it's not a full-time deal. It's just like a special event.
Like a one-off.
It's a special event. We go to the Vegas trip, and then we do the MLK in California because nobody in Texas is playing baseball.
Right.
And so we have. I think like that 10U team, we had 4 kids from Houston, 5 kids from Houston, and then we had a couple of Dallas kids. We had 2 Washington kids on there that batted 2 and 4 hole, and they killed it. I mean, and so we picked up a few California kids that filled in with us on a few other teams, and so we kind of mix in. It's a good experience if I keep it separate. Like if I bring 5 kids from Nevada, then it gets a little weird. But if I bring a kid from here or there, they meet new friends and it's a new experience. It gets them ready for when they're going to play showcase ball. Yeah, I mean, no one's promising any scholarships or anything like that. It's really just for fun and new experiences. And a lot of the coaches like just to sit back and let us do it, let our guys do the job. I happen to coach that 10-year-old team, but normally I've got college guys. We have a couple of scouts that coach for us. We have 3 or 4 NEIA coaches that kind of come out and help us out. So nobody's trying to recruit any players or anything like that. And ideally, I want to get to where we have the best players, and then we bring those teams in, like a Team California, a Team Nevada, Team Arizona, come in and play in Houston for an event.
Those NAIA coaches, I know they're pretty good, nice guys.
Yeah, they do a great job.
Yeah, they do, and they're just good guys. Shout out to Houston Brewers for tuning in. How did they treat y'all when y'all went out there to Southern California? They treat y'all good?
I'm friends with all the U-Trip guys out there, so so they're gonna treat us good. I mean, initially they gave me like 1 8 p.m. game. I'm like, dude, that's 10 p.m. for my 10-year-olds, right? And so it's just like when they come out here, we're not gonna play them at 8 a.m. in the morning because that's 6 a.m. for them, and so they'll be in the afternoon or whatever. Just because we want to treat them good and have them come back. But we were well treated.
Okay, maybe because you were there.
No, my team. It helped. It helped.
Okay,
because I'm not saying the umpires treated us well because we got kind of hosed on a couple calls.
I was fixing to say because every time I've known a team going from Texas going to the West Coast, there's always. I'm not going to say anything.
No, we still.
There's some stuff.
I need to go to their high cast they had there for video. I hadn't checked the video on that play at Big League Dreams, but I'm pretty sure that when we stole home, he was safe by a foot, and so that
Well,
would've
they
been-
don't use high cast. I think it's called play site or something
Yeah,
like that.
and so I would be curious to see if he was truly safe at home. Of course, everybody said he was safe by a foot. I thought he was safe, but like we stole home on him, and we didn't get the run. That would basically have been the winning run.
Yeah.
And so
So Bet said it was a great experience for the kids. So the kids liked it. Parents liked it.
Well, there's no pressure, right? I mean, other than it's a new coach and stuff like that, no one's yelling at them.
Okay.
I mean, they're getting a chance to be around new guys, new experience, see other players, what they're doing around the country.
Okay.
I mean, last year we took a less talented group. Like the 12-year-old team only had 5 major players on it, and so they did the best. And then everybody else only had 2 or 3 major kids on it. But we were a play away from winning every game. This year we brought, I'd say 80% of the kids we brought were on major rosters, and a lot of them weren't major. And so I mean, there were some kids on there that were like, they're good players. They're working on stuff. They're still developing in that, but they were probably more AA level players.
Okay.
I'm not saying my team. I'm just saying in general. Yeah. And then there were some kids that there were some genuine a lot of major kids. Like on the 12U team, we had a talented group of kids on that team, but I don't know how much they'd actually been playing or practicing.
Okay.
And so before we went, it's like you'll have guys on the 13, 14-year-old team say, hey, I didn't pick up a ball till yesterday. And they've been off a month. And then we go to California expecting to play well when they've been already playing tournaments.
Right.
They don't stop. They stop for 2 weeks at Christmas time. They play a lot of ball in January. And so they were a little more game ready to play. And our guys, sometimes they just don't show up. And so, but we brought a lot of talented kids out there this week, way more than we brought in the past.
Good.
So what is the criteria to making these teams?
Basically, when we do the travel stuff, I mean, a lot of times they'll send in video. We look at player history. We'll ask a coach here and there. I mean, it's what?
No, I got a text from Brian, and this is what he said. He goes, "Tell Darren they were major in Houston, but not major in SoCal." Ha ha ha.
Was that Jacobus?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'll leave that alone.
Hey, what's up, Doug?
Oh man, that is awesome.
So everybody was saying he's safe. He was safe.
Yeah.
If you look on right there.
We need to go back.
And the funny thing is, this happened to me twice. Like I'm yelling in his ear. It was in Vegas. We did the same thing, and I'm yelling "Go go go" from third. I'm really just trying to get him to fake steal to maybe draw some attention, and they've taken off for home. And so I'm like, okay.
Oh man, that's funny. What's that?
We're gonna put him on the line.
Who's coming on?
We got Seattle. Was it Seattle, Washington?
Yeah, new level.
New level. We're
Okay.
about to get him on the line right now. Give it a couple seconds. It builds relationships with kids who are typically playing against one another. Expands the Houston bond for these kids. I love it.
I agree with that. I
Oh,
think
yeah,
that's
for
I
sure.
think that's good because my son does the MMA thing and their team is like from all scattered and
Yeah,
I mean it's good. Good social
you
thing.
learn kids. You're meeting kids from all over the state.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a kid from El Paso come with us on the 10U team that was a beast.
For real?
I mean, best base runner I've seen at 10. Period. I
Wow.
mean, hit the ball really well for us all weekend, and I mean, took him a game or two to warm up to being in a new situation with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But like the last 3 games, I mean, he was money.
Okay.
And
So after this phone call, then we're going to open up the phone lines. A lot of people always got, well, I wish I could talk to Darren. Well, Darren's here.
Yeah.
Darren is
right
here.
after this phone
I
call.
don't know, man. Some of these guys, I don't know if I want to talk to them.
No, we got the mute button. We got the mute button.
That will
I don't
be,
want to be suspended, anybody. Come on.
we'll be fine. So we'll shout out the number in a little while. You're going to have an open window. So if you get in, you get in. If you don't, you wait till next time Darren comes. We don't know when that's going to be. But
Just
he's
keep in
here now.
mind, 8-4.
8 and well, Junior has it locked on 8 o'clock games. I guess now we do too. So,
Hey man.
The good thing for you is my son's doing the schedules now.
oh, okay.
Oh,
So it's,
hey Lee, hook us up, man. All right, man. Well, here we go again. The Ferrari Michelada Mix Hotline. We got another one. We got Coach Brian Jacobus from Washington, Seattle, Washington. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks, guys.
Hey, man. I had to read that text to Darren. He just started laughing.
That's funny. What's up, Darren?
how you doing, man?
That was good. Did you tell him you put the shift on Ben? And
I did.
That
Did he bat 2
that
hole?
was
Did he
awesome.
bat 2 hole or 3 hole?
Ben?
Yeah, that game. 3-hole.
And first game he smokes the ball in the 5-6 hole, and I look up and Darren's been at our facility a ton, so he sees him hit, and he knows he's got a left-hand hitter, left center swing, and Darren's got the guy positioned perfectly, and the shortstop just fields it right behind the third baseman. And then the next at bat, he hits the line drive to left center, and Darren's got the center fielder playing in left field. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
I mean, I hate to do that to the 10-year-old, man, but we needed a win, baby.
That was awesome.
Hey, Brian, you got to know this, man. We're from Houston. We're used to stealing signs and everything now, man. So
Yeah, exactly, and positioning players perfectly.
hey, what's going on? So, hey, I know you have a baseball program up there in the Northwest, new level. That's correct.
Yeah, we've got. Well, it's different up here. We have to train indoors because there's no baseball between August and March 1st. Wow. So none at all, because August is really good, but that's football season. But no, there's no tournaments for that period of time. So damn. We all train indoors. So our facility, we have like 38, 40 teams, 400 players. It's a big facility. And so
how cold is it over there?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So how cold is it over there right now?
Oh, it's always 40. Like this time of year, 40 and rain. It's like just absolutely pissing right now. But like we don't get a ton of snow, but it rains this time of year, and it's about 40, 42 degrees pretty much every day. So we go indoors, and we don't play until March. My team will play like one time in March, and then April, May, and June we play every weekend, July every weekend. So our season is a little bit consolidated as opposed to other parts of the country. That's like, I was going to take my team down to the NIT, but it's like right at the end of basketball season, and we're just not ready, like in March, to go down there and compete with the southern states because we're not even outside. So yeah. I wish Darren would put that tournament in like June because
I'm working on it. But
yeah.
That interferes with the International World Series out in California, though, if I do June.
Yeah, that's true. That's a big event, too.
Yeah. We're working on something, though, for July here coming up next couple of years.
Yeah, let's do it. That'd be awesome. Love to get down there. But we're going to be down there next month with MVP, so that'd be cool.
So I guess I'll see you over here, Brian. I was going to ask you if you were going to bring the 11s over, but you answered that question before.
Brian really wanted to come down for the 10s.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man, that's funny, man. So Seattle, Washington. How's baseball over there, man? Talk to us about select baseball in Seattle, Washington.
Baseball's really good in Washington and in our area. We've got, I would say I've been around. I've seen a lot of baseball, and we're not as good as Southern California. I've seen teams from Texas, for probably not there, but for a northern state, baseball is really good up here. Like we've got some really good players. We've got a lot of players playing pro ball. Our facility, we have kind of how we do it at our facility is we've got new level instructors that run the training like every day. My team practices 3 days a week from October 1st until March 31st, and we have pro players that lead the instruction. So, just in our facility, we've got, probably 15 pro players, 10, 15 pro players that lead the instruction during the off season. That's their job, and they get to use our facility and train. So like a typical guy that leads our training will show up to our facility at like 1 or 2, and then they'll do their workout, their training, and then our teams start going at 5, from 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night. So they're there. Those pro guys are there almost all day, Yeah. So it's a really good deal for them. They get to work out, train, instruct, and make a little bit of dough as well.
And the nice thing about Washington is when it comes to defensive instruction, 4 or 5 of the best guys in the country are out of Washington. I mean, when I asked that question on the Facebook page, they came to Kai Correa. Yeah, he's from Hawaii, but he went to school in Washington. And Billy Boyer, who's the head infield instructor coach for the Minnesota Twins whole organization, he works out of our building in the off season. And we've got really good guys. They know defense, and they work a lot of defense during the off season with their camp stuff.
Yeah, it's been really good. And the Weiss baseball camps, like one of our business partners is Mark Weiss. He does a great job with defensive instruction in his camps. And it's a point of emphasis because we're indoors. I mean, we have our building is 55,000 square feet, but one of the portions of that is like a 22,000 square feet free span, all turf, wide open, retractable cages. So we run 3-team rotations in, hour and 40-minute blocks, and we get after it a little bit.
Nice. Steve, you got something?
Nah,
No,
just 55,000 square feet is awesome. I'm still trying to get over that.
It's not. It's like most of it's done in we have an 8,000 square foot, like we call it the pool room because it used to be a pool. We filled that up and now it's turf cages. And then we have an area that used to be tennis courts that's now turf. So most of it's like about 30,000 of usable baseball space.
Oh, okay. Well, that's still impressive, though.
When you walk in the building, it's 4,000 or 5,000, probably 7,000 foot of fitness center. You go down the hall, you pass the pool room, which is 3.5 giant cages. Then you go a little further, there's a basketball court that's now an infield with turf and nets and a retractable cage. Okay. Then you go a little further, and then there's another area that's 110 by 150 foot with 39 foot ceilings, with the retractable cages in there. So they'll do hitting and then infield work in there. Nice.
Impressive.
Hey, we were having this conversation before the show started. Darren mentioned that Northeast and the Northwest of the country is where the strongest pitchers come from. Do you agree or disagree?
At the youth level, I would disagree.
MLB.
Say that Southern California and Southwest is where they come from.
Okay.
But as they get older, so here's what I've learned, like through the last, like traveling with Ben and stuff like that and going around, they start kid pitch in Southern California at 7. They go 40, 60. So you've got like up here in Washington, they're playing like T-ball and machine pitch, and we don't even start kid pitch until they're like 9. So they're a couple years ahead of us in terms of throwing strikes, velocity, throwing a breaking ball for a strike. So there's a little bit of a catch-up period for northern states, I think. But I think that levels out as they get towards high school, in my opinion. But definitely, like, for 9, 10, 11, 12, I would say the Southwest is further advanced with pitchers just because they're exposed to it. They throw a lot more.
Yeah,
Weather is a big factor in that.
We were talking about the Luke Heimlichs of the world and the guys that are coming up and the MLB guys that come out of the Northwest and the Northeast, basically. Not so much the younger.
I think that gap narrows significantly, and then when they get to high school, there's like it's a really, really small gap. So I would agree with that. But at the youth level, I think the Southwest is ahead.
Oh, definitely.
From what I've seen.
Yeah.
All right, Brian. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. Like I said, I wanted to just give you some love, get you on the show for a little bit, and we'll see you in March.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, so you see that Ovidio is watching? What's up, O?
Yeah, the
Godfather.
King, yeah,
the Godfather of the North Side.
He never shows us love.
Never shows us love. What's up, O? Good dude, though.
All right, so right before we move on to Darren's hotline, where we're going to open it up, we got one more guy.
Past that, man.
Hold on. We got one more guy coming on, man.
We got another dad?
No. This is the actual coach here. And the guy we're going to get on is a special guest. And it'll be Leo Reese from MVP Hustle. He'll be on the line shortly. So we'll just get him on.
So while we're waiting for Coach, I was flipping around Facebook today. And did you see what Sergio Medina's doing over there at the Cage Houston?
Yeah.
You see that weight stuff that he put in there?
Shout out to Coach Medina. That looked badass, bro.
Yeah, it looked nice. So the Cage Houston, home of Medina baseball, my cousin, I think. 5915 North Main, Houston, Texas 77009 in Houston Heights. And doing it for the kids. Man, this looks good.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I like the weight room. I like the whole setup they have. So shout out to them. Hopefully they can do big things in the city. So
yeah. he is doing good things over there, man. So you just gotta shout out good people when they're doing good things for the kids. So
All right. Well, look, Ovidio gave us a shout out. So shout out.
Video,
What's up,
my
man?
dude?
All right. So, hey, Ferrari Michelada Mix Hotline one more time. And, man, from the West Coast.
Nationwide.
And the PG rankings came out. Head coach of the number 1 10U team in the country, Leo Reese, is in the building on the hotline.
What's up, Coach?
What's up, Coach?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Hey, I'm doing
How
fine.
you doing, man?
Hey, Leo, man, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, man. We've gone around the country right now. We went from Houston to Detroit to Seattle. Now we're in Cali, and we just want to talk MVP. And but first and foremost, about the S30. Are you excited about that?
Oh, I mean, yeah, you know, I've been on paper for the past 3 weeks, just going crazy, getting ready for the tournament. I hear it's one of the best tournaments to go to, you know. So, you know, we're super excited to get there.
Oh yeah, and Darren just broke the news that all of the championship games are going to be held at one complex on Monday morning. So that should be very exciting for everybody that's coming in out of town, flying in.
Oh, yeah, you know, I mean, you know, well, we're expecting to take quite some teams out there, so, you know, I mean, hopefully we're able to fill it up, you know, in black and white.
Oh yeah, for sure. So when are you guys coming down here, Coach?
So we should be arriving Friday evening. Everybody should be arriving Friday evening.
Okay. And then pretty much everybody flying back out Monday, Tuesday, something like that?
Well, everybody's flying back Monday
Okay.
evening.
And
We
is
gotta get back to work.
okay. And is it spring break for you guys over there in California or no?
No, not yet. We're not on spring break until about a couple of weeks later.
Oh, okay.
In April, I believe.
Yeah, because it'll be spring break for us guys here in Houston, right?
Nah, there's like
No.
one. I think 1 or 2 small sections
One
only.
or 2 small sections. Okay. So, like
You
I
guys
said,
will be lucky and you'll be able to sleep in.
hey, so let's talk about MVP baseball real quick. I know you guys are bringing down a massive number of teams. Just touch up on that and how excited is the organization as a whole to be able to bring down a bunch of teams down and compete at the highest level?
Well, I mean, you know, like I said, the whole program across the board is excited. You know, I mean, Rod's been doing a great job, which is the mayor down here, and you know, he did a lot of promotion and made sure, you know, we were able to get the top teams to go down here from Cali. So, I mean, we're all just ready to roll, ready to go compete. You know, like I said, we've heard there's some great competition. We're here, like there's some great teams coming in. So, you know, we're heading out there.
Okay, sounds good. And I know you yourself, you're bringing 2 teams, the 10s and the 11s. How excited are you to be able to compete in both of those brackets?
Well, you know, I mean, it's pretty rare to see both teams in the same tournament because, you know, for coaching purposes, managing the teams. But I have a great staff, you know, I really do. Rudy does a great job with the 11s. Mike does a great job with the 10s. And, you know, I mean, I just flop back and forth. But as far as having both teams, I mean, like I said, it's we're going out there with a purpose.
Want to make a statement, right?
Oh, yes.
Well,
Yeah.
they did last year.
I mean,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They did. They showed out really well last year, so that's good. Hey, Coach, let me ask you a question. This is Steve over here. I got your hat. I've been telling my man Chingo Bling across from me right now that I've been. How can I get an MVP hat? I mean, I'll buy it.
Hold on. I text Leo about this the other day, and he said he's checking into it. So.
Okay, yeah.
But we'll have him answer
yeah.
us.
He's always texting me. He's asking me, "Hey, man, you know, I need these hats." I'm like, "Dude, I'm gonna get them for you," you know, because the thing is that so we have our program hats, and then you know, I'm so thankful for the opportunities you know that we have. So we were able to get sponsored, you know, Nike gear from some great people from the company actually. And so I told him, I said, dude, let me get these hats. You know, we got new ones coming in. You know, nobody has those hats.
Yeah, they're
You
pretty
know, so
sick.
as soon as I get them, I'll hook you guys up.
All right, cool. Well, I'll buy mine. I mean,
I just
you know.
I just printed a few. I'll give you one.
No, I got
just
you guys.
kidding.
Just give me the sizes. I already know 714 over there.
I can get them for $8, man.
Hey, Leo, we're gonna try to have a like a coach's lounge the Friday before the tournament. You know, a lot of people would be excited to have you in there. You down for something like that to be able to meet other coaches around from the country?
Oh, most definitely. You know, I love that. You know, I like to talk to other guys from other states. You know, just kind of see how things are ran in their states, and you know, I mean, see some great teams and see how they run their stuff. And I mean, I would love it.
Okay.
And he can come to the tailgate if he's going to be in Siena.
Yeah. Because one of the comments right now says, is he going to be able to come to Steve Medina's tailgate because Steve lives down the street from the Siena complex? So.
Yeah, I mean, Keith Fetters, you know, my boy from Texas, he's pretty much going to be, you know, driving us around and you know, showing us around the place. So I'll tell him that we have to make a pit stop.
Yeah, but Keith's a Woodlands guy. He's not a Sugarland guy like me, so you know, there's that. It's just like if I went
the area, man.
He's up in Montgomery, man. He's not even in the Woodlands.
Hey, coach, it's just like me going down to Southern California, and I'm from Downing, and you know, I'm trying to tell you how Los Angeles is. That doesn't work. But Keith's a good guy though. So
come on, Steve.
Two totally different parts.
Leo gonna be right in with me.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit. You're gonna be in Pasadena?
No. I know Keith's watching it. He texts me.
What's up, Keith?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, coach. So right before we let you go, what are the plans for the teams for the summer? Where are you guys gonna be? Where are we gonna be competing? And just let everybody know what the future for the organization holds.
So right now, I mean, the tenure has a pretty heavy schedule. You know, I'm actually building a national team to travel to Perfect Game in June and NYBC in July. And then on top of that, I'm also building another 10U national team for USA Futures. So, I mean, it's a pretty heavy schedule. You know, I decided to leave California this year and, you know, I guess in a sense conquer the country, you know, in 10U baseball.
Yeah. Hey man, that's the way to go. Now, talk to us about California baseball real quick. How is it, man? How competitive is it? Is it watered down? Is there good competition? You know, talk to us a little bit about California baseball.
Well, I mean, California baseball, you know, we're really lucky with the weather, so we get to play year-round baseball. Competition, it's tough out here. You know, any given day you can lose. You can get out coached. The kids could have a horrible day, you know. But as far as the competition, there's great teams. There's, a big, you know, what they call the pool of kids to choose from, you know. So, I mean, you got so many teams, so it's really hard to kind of get these kids kind of like what I do in one team. So, I mean, everybody sees it differently, you know. But the competition is great down here, though.
Okay, sounds good.
Who's your other big organization that you have that you're competing with for players?
Well,
as a whole, not just 10-year-old.
You know, right now, you know, Top Notch has done really well. They've, you know, for the past couple of years, they started one team. Now they've grown to 4 or 5 teams. You know, so they're in competition right now as far as recruitment part.
Okay, sounds good. So, is Top Notch coming over for the?
I don't think so.
They're not coming.
All right. Well, I think Darren's calling him out.
Hey,
come on out, right?
Put up or shut up, right?
Well, I mean, I guess if you want to be the best, you gotta play the best, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, for sure. But hey, Coach Leo, I appreciate you giving us a few of your minutes of your time. We just wanted to get you on the show since we're going around the country right now doing our world tour. So, you know, we're really excited to have the teams down here for the S30 in Houston, and we're looking to compete. So, I'll see you when I see you.
Hey, and then real quick, it was a lot of fun playing you with that Team Texas team in Cali.
Man, you know, I mean, you guys, you know, I don't want to say it's not what I expected because I know you Texas boys can swing it, and you guys came out swinging. I mean, you guys had us against the ropes, 2 extra innings. It was rare to see. I don't know. I mean, if you remember that day, the stadium, how crowded it was.
Oh, it was an intense. There was 400 or 500 people watching that game.
Yeah, no, it was crowded. You know what I mean? And I think it just got crazy because people heard I was down and I was losing, about to get out in a quarterfinal game. So everybody was cheering. It was great, man.
It was a lot of
playing
fun.
Texas teams.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. I appreciate it.
All right, Coach. So, like I said, I appreciate your time coming on the show. So, I'll give you a call later, and we'll chop it up some more. But like I said, thanks for coming on and talking about MVP, man.
No, for sure. Thank you, guys, man.
All right, Coach.
Yeah,
Thanks.
we'll see you guys real soon.
All right, Coach. Thanks.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
All right, guys. Yeah.
One thing I will agree with Coach. If you want to be the best, you got to play the best. I start seeing all these, and we joke about it. All these teams talking about we're the best. No, you got to play the best. Not the perceived best, the actual best. And
can you be considered the best team in the nation if you don't travel outside of your city?
No.
Okay.
Now here's the deal.
I'm just saying because I see some posts like that all the damn time.
I see them all the time. But listen, I will tell you this: when you go and play against the MVPs, the Eastern top notch, you may lose. That don't mean you're sorry. You just lost that day, and for whatever reason. And so, if you're going to put yourself in that position, and trust me, what he said was, you start getting a lot of people to come watch you play once they hear that you're losing. Trust me. And the NIT, if they hear that we're losing in 12U, I guarantee everybody's going to go watch just because they want to see us lose. And so, it's just how it is. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's fun. It's fun. But you gotta embrace that. So.
Hell yeah. So, hey, I think it's time.
What was it time for? So, after your rankings, Julio's got something to say.
You want to say it now, or do we go for the rankings first? Do we go ahead and hit them right now? Go ahead and hit them right now. All right. So, check this out.
Hold on.
Okay.
You got something to say for after the rankings?
Oh, the phone calls?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have 15 minutes open. Legit questions, not to call.
You see Beth calling me out.
I got the mute button here. As soon as it's like the radio, I feel like something's coming on, I'm gonna hang up.
So you're gonna say the number and post it, or what do you?
Yeah,
do?
I'm gonna post it on Facebook once we're ready.
Okay.
15 minutes. Maybe limit the calls to 5 minutes.
Okay. Let's be professional, and let's show our
If
guests.
you need some information, the guys here, you could ask them.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So without further ado,
here we go,
so everybody,
baby.
so everybody's gonna hear. We don't know. It's gonna be news to us.
All right, here we go.
So
it's gonna be news for me.
We're fixing to
sure.
fight.
We're fixing a fight. All right, Julio, hand over
8-4, man. That's all I gotta say. Maybe 8-6. What's up?
the rankings, the official WINDUP Houston area rankings. Now, I did write a few notes that I will say. Okay, so go ahead and share this. I'm gonna give everybody 30 seconds to share this and let's get over 100 viewers going on right now before these rankings go. I'm not gonna go until we hit that number, but let's go off the criteria. Okay.
Jingle bling.
Let's talk about the criteria of what I kind of base these rankings up. So I pretty much build up a formula, put it on a spreadsheet, and here we went. So the criteria is based off RPI, so it's the rating percentage index as used in the NCAA. So yes, we are D1, right? Grant, you sign?
So
No?
who designed the algorithm?
I did. I kind of copied it. a little bit, but we good. Okay. Hey, before I start, man, shout out to my boy Keith Fetters. Hashtag loyalty.
Where is he?
Hashtag loyalty.
He's
There's
on
no
here?
loyalty in baseball, man.
Keith's on here?
I had a long talk with Keith earlier this afternoon, and it was a great talk, man. I love Keith. Shout out Keith, man. Okay, so here we go. So the criteria is based on, obviously, the team win-loss. Wait.
Hey, Alfredo Cruz, yes, you can ask a question through
Yes.
Messenger.
Yes. Okay, so the criteria for these Houston area rankings are as follows. Again, Houston area. I'm not counting Beaumont teams. I'm not counting Dallas, Corpus. Houston area. So if it don't matter where you're at, if you rep Houston and they ask you where you're from and you say Houston, you're going to be considered in this. Nobody's in Beaumont saying, oh, I'm from Houston. No,
So
you're
it's
from
not
Beaumont.
Golden Triangle. It's
No
just
Golden
Houston
Triangle. It's just Houston area. So here
Okay.
we go. Team win-loss record, okay? 1. Number 2, power always trumps points. I don't care how many points you get because you can play 20 tournaments to start off and lead the nation in points but be power ranked like 80-something. The playing up, plus minus win differential. So that is being considered in there. The head-to-head win and loss record takes part of it, but I didn't. The percentage is very low for the fall. National, out-of-state, major tournaments are added as bonus points. Okay. USSSA nations, PG, et cetera, any tournament you've played in that I can find it online, I counted that record on you. And again, these rankings will be updated weekly and announced in a segment every week. And I am, like I said, no player rankings for us, because if that's the case, everybody's kid's going to be the top player in Houston. Okay, so here we go. Before we start, okay, before I hurt anybody's feelings, or the wind-up does, right? Not
Chingo Bling.
Chingo Bling. Okay, let me put on my hat. So
you know what this tells me? You have a lot of free time at work.
It's going down. All right, here we go. So before we start, again, I'm sorry, not everyone made the list, right? That's a given, okay? And if you didn't make it, well, work harder, okay? That's point number 2.
Man,
don't take it personal.
Hey, there better not be no Legends teams on this damn list.
Don't
I'll
take
tell
it
you,
personal.
I'm gonna walk out this door right now.
If you disagree,
Legends is on
just keep working hard, and eventually you'll find your way into the formula and etc. No 6U. I didn't do no 6U because there's only like 2 teams.
Okay, so what are we doing? Get to it.
We're starting at 7U. So 7U and 8U, they're combined. So AA, AAA.
Can I get a burger or something?
Okay, so here we go.
After the long intro.
Sorry
that was pretty long.
And here we go. Drum roll, please. So everybody, okay, we're at max capacity. Let's go. So talking about the 7U, Houston Area Select Baseball Community Wind-Up Houston Area Rankings. So I'm going to go down. I'm going to mention, I have 7 teams that I have written down for the 7U division. The Houston Hustlers, Premier Buen Rostro, Legends Baseball, Pearland Expos, Hustle Pearland, Scorpions, Team Easton, Texas Made. So we're about to rank those in order. So coming in at number 1 with a record of 19-9 with 1 tie. Their record playing up is 4 wins and 5 losses with 2 USSSA rings. Coming in at number 1 for the 7U rankings, Houston Hustlers.
Hey, before you go any further, are you trying to try out for the PA job at the Elite, calling out all the teams? Okay.
Maybe. All right. Coming in at number 2 with a record of 18-5, the only team in the 7U division with a winning record playing up, okay, with 1 ring and a couple of second and third place finishes. Number 2 for the 7U rankings, Legends Baseball. With a record of 18-4, okay, with a record of playing up of 1 win and 2 losses, with a fall league. They are the defending fall league champions. Hustle Pearland coming in at number 3. Number 4, coming in at number 4 with a record of 18-10, with a record of 4-5 playing up and 1 USSSA ring, Premier Buen Rostro. And coming in at number 5 with a record of 22-3-1. Again, this is AA, but we gave him some love with 1 ring and a record of 0-1 playing up. Coming in at number 5, Scorpions, Team Easton.
Nice. Okay, so can we do this?
Yes, sir.
Can we speed it up? But not only that, not only that. Hey.
Oh,
okay.
shit.
Took 30 minutes just to say.
Okay, listen. So honestly, okay.
Okay.
So we don't need the 5 teams. Just go
give
for
them a ranking.
No,
Okay.
hold on.
Man, look,
hold on. Listen, I'm not trying to disparage what you've done.
Okay.
Because it took a lot of time. Let's just go 5, 4, 3, 2, like everybody else does.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Because after 1, nobody's really paying attention.
I see the comments coming in. All right, here we go. 8U, number 1.
We can tell
The
you
record of 18-6-4, Texas Chaos. All right.
Nice.
8U coming in at number 2 with a record of 26-12. Record 9-5 playing up. Number 2, Texas Finest.
Okay.
With a record of 22-8, with a 1-1 record playing up and 1 USSSA ring. Coming in at number 3, Houston Hustlers. Now, there's a bunch of Houston Hustlers teams, so I forgot who's who. One of them is Jackson, and one of them is another name, but I'm sorry about that. with a record of 17-14, with a 10-6 record playing up with 1 ring. Number 4 for 8U, Victory Baseball. And then with a record of 19-8-1, 1-1 playing up with 2 USSSA rings, Premier Cheek at number 5 for 8U. 9U.
Number 1.
Hold on. Start at number 5.
Number 5. Oh, start at number 5. Count down backwards now?
Yes.
Okay.
That's how
That's
normally
usually how it
people
is.
do it.
Oh,
They go
I'm sorry.
5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
And balloons pop and all
Okay.
kinds of stuff.
Hey, again, algorithm, Sam Rayburn.
Jesus. Okay. I'll start at number 5.
I'm just trying to save
let's
you
skip
from
the
the
records too. Let's just go to like
Yeah,
who the
let's-
teams are.
Okay. Coming in at number 5 for 9U, Baystros, number 5.
Okay.
Coming in at 9U, number 4, Black Sox, Boomba.
Nice.
Coming in at number 3, Houston Brewers. Coming in at number 2, with the only team out of this entire rankings, but they didn't play very much, Banditos Black gets ranking number 2. The only team qualified for the elite. The number 1 9U team in the city of Houston, Dynasty Black.
Okay.
They
Congratulations,
have
Dynasty
a
Black.
great record playing up, so
Okay.
yeah,
Good
they
job.
get the nod.
10U.
10U, here we go. Everybody's excited for this. Number 10.
No, we're not.
Oh, we're number 10. What? Okay. Number 5. Coming in at number 5 with a record of 29-8, The Show out of League City.
Congrats.
Coming in at number 4 with a record of 19-7, Backyard Ballers Black.
Congrats.
Coming in at number 3 with a very good record because they did play a lot, 31-3. They did win the NIT in Dallas, Strike Zone.
Congrats.
Number 2, 20-3. They got the other NIT win in Portland, Dynasty Black, and the number 1 team, 10U, with the first win, their first NIT win in the season, Adidas, which is now Premier.
And
Now-
they play each other
And they play each other this weekend.
once or twice. They probably play each other
Yeah,
twice.
they'll
I
play
think.
each other this weekend.
Nice.
So I did see the comments. Miss Beth saying that I did pick the dark horse. Yes, I did. But the teams that are ahead of you on the list have won an NIT this fall. So that's the rankings.
But they do.
much
The
love.
Backyard Ballers do win
Yeah,
the
they are.
award for the most moms with the Yetis.
Yes, yes. Okay, so here we go. 11U. Who's ready for this one? Somebody's going to get mad. Number 5, coming in at a record of 16-2, Sabres Baseball.
Okay. Congrats,
Number
Sabres.
4, coming in with a record of 14-4. They've won 2 rings. Banditos Black. Number 3, coming in at a record of 17-3-1 with 2 rings as well. Baseball Stars. Yeah, I mean they have like a couple different names, but Baseball Stars. Number 2, 14-3. And they have 1 USSSA ring, which was a 1-day tournament. Number 2 coming in, Sidious HTX.
Good job,
And
Troy.
number 1, the number 1 11U team in the city with a record of 14-3. The only team in the 11U division that has played up with a record of 5-2, and they're the only 11U team in the city that's won the NIT. Number 1, Apex Baseball.
Congrats, Apex.
Here we go. 12U. Steve's gonna like this one. Coming in at number 5, ZT. Nah, I'm playing. Steve, I thought Steve was gonna look at me. All right, coming in at number 5, based again on the fall record. Let me say this: 12U has not had a lot of action, but number 5 coming in, 12 platinum. Number 4, 18-7 record, Dynasty Black, with a record of 29-6-1 with 2 rings. Texas Hooks, number 3. Number 2, with a record of 21-4-1 with 2 rings. We'll give it to American Force. And the number 1 team in the entire nation, we all know who this is, ZT Nava.
Winners of the perfect game.
3 rings for 12U.
Winners of the perfect game.
13U, here we go. Number 5 with a record of 11-4, Marucci Biggers. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Congrats.
13U with 1 ring, 22-13 record, Raptors
Okay.
baseball.
Congrats.
Number 3 with a record of 11-4, Scorpions. I guess Scorpions, either whoever it is, with rank number 3. Number 2, 14-5 record, 21 baseball, DD. All right, and the number 1 13U team in the city with the only team that has won an NIT bid with a record of 13-4-1, Adidas Marrero.
That's the old Pasadena Memorial Colors team, right?
I believe the Swing Kings?
Yeah, Swing Kings.
Kings?
Yeah. Nice. Hey, so my dark horse is going to be CBA. Coach Castro, Velasquez, all those guys out there. I know you didn't put them in there.
Yeah. Like I said, look, if the rankings are going to update every week, so this is just the baseline. And the last one, here we go, 14. Coming in at number 5 with a 7-2 record, and they won the NIT bid in Portland, RSBA.
Congrats, Willie.
With a record of 16-4 at number 4, Banditos Black. Number 3 coming in at 10-2-1, Kings Baseball. Number 2 with a record of 14-2, Los Tigres. Shout out Wilmy. And number 1, 14U team, 13-2 record, Ballers 14U. And that is the rankings for the first one.
So we are going to post them on the Facebook page,
I
right?
will post them on the Facebook page, so here it is.
Nice. Good job, Junior.
The way that I did it, like I said, I know I missed on some teams. I know some of them are kind of iffy, but keep winning, keep putting in work, and I'm going to plug in the numbers, and it's going to edit correctly. And like I said, NIT wins. If you win an NIT, you're going to the elite. So unless somebody else has won an NIT, I don't see how they're better than you. There's no disrespect to anybody.
Okay.
So I think it's a good start off. I think they're better rankings than what everybody else is doing. So keep putting in the work, and we're excited. I don't have my glasses, so I can't read the comments. But
You don't want to.
That's good.
Yeah, so we're good. All right. Yeah. So now
wait, I
15
want to
minutes
say
starts or
something.
what?
I might have mistaked somebody's name on one of the age groups, so I'm sorry. I think I know which one it is.
I gotta go now.
All right, Michael Jenkins.
Okay. All right.
Say good.
Oh, he's leaving. Oh, I thought y'all trolling me. Oh. Okay. All right. What's up, Isaac? Man, that was long. Sorry, guys. But anyways, yeah, there's those rankings. What do you think, Steve?
They are what they are. Hey, man, you got a lot of time at work.
Shout out.
Shout
All
out to
right,
you.
well, here we go.
Hard work.
Let's open
Hard
up the
work for Junior.
hotline, bro.
Okay, you got 15 minutes. You get in or you ask the question. Let's go. Call in
right.
713-703-5783. You want to talk to the man himself, Darren Larson.
Legit.
No
questions.
habla.
Yeah, legit questions. Let's go. You guys want to talk about him all the time on the page. He's right here. Let's go. So while we're doing this, hey, Junior, so how hard was it doing these rankings? Because it was hard when you were
Nah, it was hard because
It's hard to listen, right?
yeah, no, it was hard to say them, but it was really hard like to actually put like the start ones, and I'm gonna say why, because nobody's gonna be happy. That's cool.
Yeah,
I'm cool with taking the heat.
Yeah.
I'm cool with taking the heat, but I went off of just from the start of fall till now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the start of spring.
Yeah,
so
Big Mo called you a hater.
What?
Big Mo from the Aints.
Hey,
Is that a comment going up?
Hey, 14U teams.
I'm a hater. I'm not a hater. Look at the record.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I should say 14U teams. Just a reminder, we're at Premier a lot this year, along with Baseball USA. So a lot of turf fields for the 13 and 14-year-olds this year, more so than ever.
Darren, we got a question from Chris Vasquez asking, when will you open up 16U and 18U? Is that in the plans or is that?
Yeah, this summer I'm working with some guys that have been doing some events. I'm helping them with field time. It's just I had Shield Road there for a little while, then that deal kind of fell apart with the old Program 15 guy, and so we were on our way to doing that. We want to do it. I gotta get the right staff in place so we can still do the service that we normally provide to everybody. We do have some. We are gonna have 2 or 3 events at Crosby High School this summer.
Okay.
They're on. I think they're on Texas Showcase Circuit's website.
Okay.
And so they'll be coming out here shortly. I have a guy from San Antonio that's going to kind of run them for me.
Okay. Cool.
Hey, Aaron Hurd, call the phone line, bro.
Oh, ask the question.
Yeah, okay. Answer the question. Darren, there's a question on the chat board for you. When will Darren stop putting ghost teams?
Is there such a thing?
Is there such a thing as ghost teams?
As soon as you want to stop playing baseball. There's not. I have 150 teams that don't know how to put themselves in. We would do their schedule for them. And so they make the decision weekly that whether they're going to play or not. Sometimes they're ready to go. Sometimes they're not. But the bottom line is we still have more teams playing in events than anybody else in the state.
Okay.
We're the largest tournament director in the country by far. We did 8,000 teams in calendar year 2019. Okay. So how many ghost teams do we actually have? And so I mean, that's the question. If you don't put teams, AAA teams and major teams in events in February, no one plays. Yeah. And so if you don't add your teams that are on my VIP list, if you don't add them early, the teams from Corpus, Dallas, Louisiana, San Antonio, Austin are not going to come to Houston. Those teams do their schedules in December, in January. Right. If I don't take the teams that I know are playing with us, we have the same number of teams every year. They're the same teams. I already know what your schedule is. So we load you in. Sometimes you're not ready, right? So, but when we preload those teams in January, because they're playing with us all the time, it allows us that state teams to come in and play.
Okay.
And so, because the question we used to get all the time is, and I get this right now, how many teams are playing in your June 16th tournament? How many? I mean, like, dude, it's 6 months away. How am I supposed to know? And so when we load the teams we already know are going to play, that allows those other guys to jump in. So, yeah, we might go from 20 to 15, but we still have 15 teams.
Okay.
I mean, so if most of them are playing, and I said, if we stopped doing it, half those teams wouldn't know what to do. I mean, that are in our VIP list, that are saving money on each event. So it's been working for us. I mean, 8 AAA is a bad one. That's always the worst. That's always the worst tournament of the year. Every year, teams you just don't know. They always want to kind of create their own thing, and it makes it worse when they all try to get together. Then nobody gets to play. Because virtually, we've been doing this 15 years basically, and so we know what we're doing. We know how to build tournaments, and it's the way it is. I mean, if you look at Nations, this is a good example. Nations this last weekend had 2 divisions in the Open that had 7 or 8 teams. How many in Nations? How many Open divisions are have on the schedule this weekend? 0. They don't have a AAA division that made. They had 7 teams on Tuesday night. Where'd they go?
Yeah.
And so, multiple other divisions with that Nations tournament those teams aren't playing in their event. Where did those teams go? And then also, if you look at Nations, what they do 2 years ago, they put 600 teams in their state tournament. Okay. The year before, they had 50 teams. Okay. It got them to 150. Second year, they put 700 teams in their tournament. Stayed at 150. And so they dropped them off. We know that we're going to have 200 teams in certain weekends, so we've got those teams reloaded in there from the year before.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Why do schedule change after it's released? Does that happen?
Oh, it happens all the time.
Okay.
So it's basically you have 2 choices. If you call me, Steve, and you're like, hey, I got to have 2 o'clock or I got to drop, okay, and we missed your no play request, or a parent just told you that morning or 10 minutes ago that something happened, I have to change the schedule with you in it or change it and take you out. Okay. So it's going to change anyway, right? Okay. And so we have no choice. And so we're very customer service oriented. We want to work with the teams. And so we try to help them as best we can. If we change the schedule on Wednesday, we're not typically going to call anybody. And so it's just kind of, that's what's going to happen.
Okay.
And so if it's Thursday or Friday, if it's early Thursday, we might send that team a text. If we get any later in Thursday, something happens. I mean, stuff happens. It's life, right?
Right.
We normally will call the teams involved and let them know what's going on. Sometimes we miss something or whatever, but, I mean, we try to communicate with the teams what's going on. But the main thing is the customer service thing. We all know from coaching that the parents don't share information with the coach all the time.
Or vice versa.
Yeah, or vice versa. And there's times, I mean, we get probably on average 500, 600, 700 emails a week and text messages. So we may miss something. And so if somebody gets a hold of me like, hey, I asked you for this, well, we're going to go back and try to make the change and fix it. Okay. And so, or like right now, like this weekend's a bad one because when you have 5 or 6 teams because it's early in the year and 5 teams want to play it after 2 o'clock and 1 team wants to play at noon, or worse yet, you have 4 teams and 3 want to play late, 1 wants to play early. You're trying to like split the difference a little bit. And sometimes it doesn't work for the team, and so we try to help them out.
Okay. A good friend of the program, Dave Snyder, wants to know, any chance you can install HiCast at Sienna by March? I think that would be Sienna Plantation's answer.
But they only do 2 select tournaments a year, so it's kind of, I mean, if the board out there wants to install HiCast, they'll make the HiCast. I don't make anything off of it, but HiCast like pays Baseball USA a little bit for their service, and then Sienna could use that as a fundraiser, and they could install it out there all the time for free.
Nice. That'd be sick.
Do you think David DeRusso ever thought U-Trip was going to be this big?
I don't like talking bad about people, So I mean, it's kind of David was a nice guy. We got along good, but he just wasn't. This wasn't his strong suit. It wasn't going to keep up with me and Charles, how busy we are and what we do in general for baseball. And so, and he had some personal stuff going on at the time. I mean, we got along pretty good always, but I mean, he had some. I think he went through a divorce at that time and some things like that. And so it's a lot of pressure doing this stuff.
Oh, of course. Field 1 had no pitching mound last weekend for the 12U. Is that true? And how did that happen?
It had a pitching mound. It just didn't have a big pitching mound. And so it's the new mound out there. They have a portable rubber, and so it was only 2 foot of slope at the end. So it's at the bottom of the high school mound, and so we also put them on turf and on the stadium. So I mean, kind of hit or miss on that. And so, but it did have a mound. It just wasn't as big as it could be. Okay. So it was probably a 4-inch. It probably equated to like a 4-inch mound.
Okay. When you're at the parks or when you're at complexes and people recognize you, do they stop you and ask you questions?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay. Because I mean, me personally, seeing you from afar, I see you probably make time for more people than I probably would, to be quite honest. I mean, obviously customer service and all that, I get it. But, at some point in time, I know you got to go from point A to point B, and sometimes you get stopped along the way.
I basically am cooped up on the phone all day and in the house a lot of times. So I like talking. So let's just go. When I'm walking around the park, that's what I'm there for. And so I'm there a lot. And I just go. I do go park to park and try to see as many people as I can. I'm not going to hang out at Baseball USA all day. I'll usually do the circle. And so it's like this week. It took me, what was it on? I think it was Thursday. Yeah, no, Tuesday. I left my house close to Baseball USA. It takes me 10 minutes to get to Baseball USA. I was there for 5 minets. Then I drove to this restaurant supply place, which is like 15 minutes away. I was there for
Ace.
No, it was some other place. And so I was there 10 minutes. I drove to Waller, and then I drove to Sealy, and then I drove back to the house. It took me 12 hours.
Wow.
And I was on my phone. I was on my phone or replying to texts. I was in Buc-ee's parking lot for 2 hours replying to text messages and phone calls. I mean, it was like, dude, each parking lot I'm there forever. And we're trying to return all phone calls, all text messages, all emails within. If you don't get an email from me or a call back within an hour or two, more than likely I'm working on a field. Okay. Or last week I helped a team coach their defensive stuff for a couple hours. They called me out and someone out there and helped them out a little bit. If I'm doing something like that, I can't obviously get on the phone. But other than that, I'm watching TV. I'm on the phone. Like right now tonight, I've already answered like eight text messages and emails while we've been sitting here. Okay. And so we're constant. All my guys are constantly trying to do that. Amanda Bosto, I get a shout out to her. She's been with me 4 years. She just had a baby.
Oh, congrats!
During the summer, and so she's the one that talks to all the teams and during the week and confirms everybody. Getting back to that whole ghost team thing. Yeah. So she's on Friday going through and confirming teams and talking to people, building the schedules out a little bit for us and helping us out. And so if we have to combine a AAA and a major and an open or whatever we're going to do, or getting the 9 AAA to play in the 10 AA. So most people enjoy talking with Amanda. She's really nice. And so she'll help them out with their schedules and she does most of our admin stuff.
Okay. We have a question about Baseball USA. What's the situation with the parking? It can take up to 15 minutes to find a spot during a regular tournament. Is it going to be a nightmare for NIT?
It's always going to be the same. I mean, we're full is full. Right. Last week I meant to stagger the start times in the morning. And so I just forgot to tell Lee to do it. This week we forgot again, to be honest, and then we went back and adjusted 15 minutes. That's where Vic was like, "Hey, I don't want to play at 8:15," and so we're trying. So in the morning on 4 or 5 fields, we're trying to start at 8:15 instead of 8. Okay. And so that way, those last games are at 8:15. The 10-year-olds are starting at 8:30 on that night on those games anyway. So them starting at 8:15. If we can change the traffic flow in the morning a little bit, maybe it'll help with that line. So I'm hoping having 3, 4 fields, 5 fields starting at 8. That 15-minute stagger. Okay. It'll soften it up a little bit. Who knows? I mean, that's on them. They don't have any extra parking.
Now, so one of the questions that we get asked all the time is there seems to be an ongoing issue at Baseball USA about breaking the cars. Is there anything? Now, I know it's random, but it's still an issue.
We used to be at Dad's Club in
Pearland?
in by the mall down by League City, right there. There's 4 fields we used to use that right across from Bay Area Mall.
Okay.
And so upper class area, we literally would have somebody break in a car. The police officer would come, patrol. Within 30 seconds of him leaving, they would break into another car. And so if you go to the mall, that's got the highest amount of patrols going on anywhere, and they have more cars broken into in the mall than anywhere you're gonna go, right?
Right.
And so patrolling not going to do anything. Those guys are professional. That's what they do for a living.
Yep.
They have spotters. They're looking for this and that. They know when the police guy's over here. They know what's going on. They have somebody in their binoculars telling the guy via radio or phone who to go to. If we could stop putting, like when I go to the mall, if I go to the store, if I go buy shoes, if I go buy shoes at the outlet mall, I'll go put them in my trunk. I get in my car and drive to the other side of the mall and repark because they're watching for people putting bags in their car.
Right.
And so, but I have Italian relatives that kind of taught me what to do when I'm putting my packages away. And so, if we would just kind of refrain from putting valuables in plain sight, it'll stop. It'll help with the break-ins. And so, and it's unfortunate. Nobody wants their car broken into and that, but these guys are professionals, and we just have to try to do a better job of not leaving stuff in there. We had one guy at Jack Brooks Park years ago. They put their little ring hung it from the mirror. Well, it looks like something else, right? Yeah. And so they busted the window out and grabbed the ring out. I mean, they're looking for opportunity, right? And so we got to kind of cut down on the opportunities that they've got.
Yeah, nice. To just talk about what you just said, I was at In-N-Out Burger yesterday, and where I parked, the car next to me right here, I saw a phone and I saw a laptop.
Right.
And so, I mean, so I understand what you're saying about people need to do with their valuables. People just don't, they don't buy that.
No, I don't.
And then, it's common sense, but, and I'm with you with the criminals. I mean, they have an elaborate operation. They know what to do.
It's their job. They do it for a living. And if we could patrol the parking lot with 3 different people, right? It's still going to be the same amount of break-ins. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I wish it didn't happen, but for years they kind of go in crews and they rotate around the city, right? It doesn't happen every week, but they do rotate around the city once they're doing. I mean, we had the same thing happen at Premier. I mean, during the 1 week last week too.
Oh
yeah. So, I mean, it happens at all parks. I mean,
go ahead, Udo.
We got our last caller. Last question. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, Darren. Question for you, sir.
Yes, sir.
So how do old officials called for you before, but how do officials get in with you and bring in a quality crew? I know you occasionally have official problems or guys not showing up or heck, just needing new guys. How does that line directly get to you?
I have somebody that handles the scheduling. I can't do all the amount of games and stuff that we do now, so I rely on schedulers to do our schedules. We're tough. I mean, we have so many games and that, and he does a pretty good job getting it done. Again, I've added a couple UICs around town. They're going to help with scheduling and with their guys, but I still have to rely on my main guy to get most of our officials. And so we're trying to add some training stuff in. We've had a few more meetings this year, and then we're adding that ump app also. Just send me a text message if you want to umpire and you have some guys. And so he'll work you into the system.
Okay, and is your number, just get the number off USSSA?
No, I mean, my number is 979-235-0972. I mean, I'm an open book. My phone number is everywhere, man. If somebody needs to talk to me, just give me a call. I'm good.
Did you get that number?
Yes, sir. 979-235-6972.
0972.
09. Wrote that bad. Okay,
no,
0972.
You're good.
Yeah.
No, we're always looking for guys. Love to have some college guys come out and call games or whatever. I mean, we're looking at nationally. People are looking for officials.
Most definitely. Well, we have a crew from East Texas of 38. We cover a lot here in East Texas. Cover a lot for your guy Keith Manyard and Frank Griffin over in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Looking to come on down to Houston if it's applicable.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. We bring guys over from Louisiana. We have guys from Dallas coming. I think we have 4, 5, 6 guys from Dallas coming in this weekend to umpire. So we got guys from all over that come in. Love to have you.
All right, well, just be looking out for him and text for me.
All right, brother. Appreciate you, man.
All right, thanks, sir.
Appreciate you. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, man. So the questions are closed.
Is that it?
That's it.
Yeah.
What's up,
Real
man?
quick.
I knew the ghost team thing was coming. It's kind of, I mean, it's like, dude, come on. I mean, it's like we're trying to provide opportunities to get games in, man. It's
Right.
like, I mean, literally, we had last August. We're still live, right?
Yes, still live.
Last August. You know, the new season starts August 1st, right?
Yeah.
I had 10 teams in the 12U division calling me to play August 5th. 10. And then for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And I'm like, I kept telling them, like, look, you guys have to go register for the new year to put yourself in, right? Because no one's registered. So I can't put them in for them.
Exactly.
And so because I wasn't able to load them into the system, nobody played. We had no tournament. But all 10 had to sit home because they didn't want to be the first one in the tournament. We had to deal with that for years where it's like, dude, all these teams are calling us to go in there, want to play. So we got to load these guys in here and help them out to get them listed because no one wants to be first, second, third, fourth, or fifth. Mm-hmm. And so I think we do a better job of how we handle it and rotate guys around because our numbers stay pretty consistent. Like for the last 6 years, our numbers have went up 20% on participation every year. The first year we did this, we had 400 entries. Okay. The second year we did 800 entries. Then it went to 1,200. Then 1,800, and then it went to 2,400. Then it went to 3,400. And then the next year we did 4,400 teams, and then 5,500. The year before last we did 6,600 teams. And this past year, August, we did 7,300 entries. If we weren't doing something right, people wouldn't keep playing with us. And so, and we're just trying to provide that opportunity to get those AAA and major teams into events and get those out-of-town teams to come in and play. Okay. And so, and we've kind of learned what the teams are looking for and how we're going to build events. And you have a few teams like, yeah, you might have a couple of teams that have to drop out and go somewhere else or something like that, or whatever's going to happen. Or like February, it's a slow time. It's half what we're going to have in March. January, not very many teams are playing, but we're trying to get as many of those teams pulled together that are available to play to go into the event. Okay. And so it's definitely a challenge, and it's just like, so we want to keep building good events, but getting back to my point is we know that like March 15th is going to be a lesser because of spring break, so you're going to have a lot more drops than you normally would have because people are going to come up and tell you something. February 8th is the same thing. You're going to have a few more drops than you would a normal weekend, right? Next weekend will be a bigger tournament. The following weekend will be bigger. And so, or Easter is a good one. Easter will be a big drop because no one tells their coach that they're going out of town until Tuesday, right? And so, and then after you get past state tournament, I mean, then it's the same thing. The teams start to break up. So they thought they were going to play. Now they're not playing. Yeah. Okay. And so then they're going to drop out. So it's definitely keeps us on our toes, and we look to do bigger and better things as we're going throughout the season. Well, and this season looks to be bigger than ever. Good.
Hey, I got a text message from Houston Brewers said they run Road Dynasty Black 8-0. Maybe you missed it.
All I gotta say is I haven't seen anybody in 9U play up. Y'all scared or what?
Does Dynasty Black play up?
I mean, I don't know. I need to look at the list.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, like that was shocking because when we were 9U, did we ever play a 9U tournament, Julio?
No.
Nope.
One more thing too, I forgot to mention. Like, there's been some teams have been asking about the like, hey, we want a 4-game format. It's always online. You see it on posts and like, hey, we need this format for 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday. We continually post that. I've got a league for the better teams or for the top teams out the rack with a 4-game guarantee. Really get it on the pricing. We can work some discounts if you guys want to play in that. But I'll give you the 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday. We've got the same thing for the single A beginning teams, the lower end AA. So that's kind of a version of an open league. And then we've got that single A, double A division that's for the teams that are just starting out that really aren't ready for select baseball necessarily. Mm-hmm. And so we've got that also on a weekend with the format of 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday. The issue, like, there's been a couple guys out there that have been starting to do some stuff that, like, okay, we're going to do 4-game format, right? Okay, the whole purpose of doing the 4-game format is to know what your Sunday schedule is. So you're going to come out and you're going to play at 8 and 10, right? So that's fun. It's fun, right? You get done, I can go home. Mm-hmm. It's not as competitive as playing in the tournament, the winner go home, right? But if you add a championship game to that 4-game format, you could literally play at 8 and 10 in the morning, and then have an 8 o'clock championship game that you don't know who's going to play in that game until 6 o'clock. Yeah, kind of defeats the whole purpose of doing a 4-game format. So you pretty much just have to do the round robin style when you're doing those 4-game formats. but we do have it available at the rack. The other ones that are out there are all west side anyway, so you'll know what your schedule is, and so. And on those, we've got some flexibility on pricing too. I can help out some of the bigger associations if they want to jump in those things.
Do you still have the VIP program?
Yeah, we're pretty much done with that. But I mean, the teams that have signed up for eight events, pre-registered for 8 events, they don't save any money on Super NIT and state tournaments, but they'll save the $50 a tournament, and if they still jump in now. And the nice thing this year, I was saying it's going to be bigger and better. We're already up 1,000 teams in the fall.
Nice.
I probably had probably 25, 30 teams that jumped in and put themselves in 8 to 12 tournaments that we don't normally get to play with us. And so it's a lot of new teams that jumped into that VIP program this year. And so it's going to really add to it. In addition, going to Premier is really helping us get the other teams from that north side to play more often. And then we also added 3 weekends up in Willis. At their Little League park. So we got some exciting things going on.
Good.
And then like we were talking about earlier, the rack's now got 6 turf fields. We have a pavilion in the middle of the complex that's a gazebo that covers the whole middle section for shade and protection from the rain and that. And then at the concession, we added about 3,000 square feet of covered area along with shade for the 2 backfields that we've got now. And lights should be operational in the next 3-4 weeks.
Hey, that food out there at the rack is pretty good.
Our concessions have been non-existent almost out there. Is it Kyron been cooking burgers or something?
No. The last time I went, this is what like in. It wasn't the last time when we played there because we played there maybe 2 weeks ago. But from last year, I didn't get in my car and go to Buc-ee's. I was just right there.
Well, I'm in the process. I own 2 pizza places down in Lake Jackson called All Star Pizza. They've been open since 2004. And so if my electrician can get me and I can get enough power into that concession, I'm actually turning it into my pizza restaurant there.
Okay.
And so we're going to go full on like the wings and the pizzas and calzones and sandwiches and burgers and fries also. But we're going to add that in, and we're in the process of getting that all redone in there.
Okay.
And so hopefully it'll be done the next couple weeks, but then I got to order all the equipment and stuff. But in the meantime, we'll do the normal burgers, hot dogs and stuff. But
it was good. And just to clarify, I know you touched on it last time when we did the episode, October, September? Can people take small barbecue pits into the rack? Or
it doesn't matter to me. I mean, do what you need to do. I mean, we're not busting. We're not gonna go necessarily be the cooler police and all of that. I mean, I'll have good enough food out there at some point in time when we're going. It's not bad now, but like Steve likes it. But we're gonna improve. We're gonna improve on it. And if you need to go do something like that, we'll do that. And probably, if I had to guess, probably within that first couple months, probably about 2 months in, we'll add some more shade structures for little picnic areas and do some stuff like that. We're also in the process of adding. Probably the next month we'll have some like 5 or 6 batting cages behind fields, so for warm up and that. Okay. And then we just set the poles on down the foul lines from the dugout. We're adding 30 feet of net, so that way it's a little more closed off, so it encloses the overthrows for first base and that. So a little more fencing. So
nice,
it's pretty good.
Julio, anything?
Oh, I'll be out at BLD all weekend, so I'll have some stickers with me. We'll be with the RSBA.
With RSBA? Okay, I'll be with ZT10 and 12U all day Saturday. I'm not even going to see the what's his name? John Jones fight.
Oh, that's right.
I'll be there.
I'll be at Bear Creek.
What time you play?
11:30, and then I'm there with the 10s and the 12s.
Okay,
so I'm there all day.
Yeah,
so I'm going to get a parking spot, just park right there, and show back up at 11. Hopefully it's on time. Yeah, but it's going to be fun. I mean, it is what it is.
Weather's supposed to be badass tomorrow, but it's supposed to rain Sunday, right?
Late. I heard late.
Yeah.
I heard late. So
yeah. Well, listen, Darren, thanks for coming in again. The first 2-time guest in the wind-up history.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's going to be the first 3-time guest.
Yeah, right after the Super NIT, man.
Yeah, he's coming right back.
I think I predict some exciting stuff right after the Super NIT.
Okay, there you have it.
And during the Super NIT.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
So nice. So be on the lookout for. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good, man.
Be on the lookout for the wind-up at the Super NIT. Be on the lookout for us at the parks. I'll be at Baseball USA all day on Saturday, so I'll have some stickers. Obviously, little Jalen has most of them, but the ones we do,
I'll be there. I'll be at BLD from 8.
Okay, so we'll be spread out tomorrow. So Bear Creek,
Baseball USA,
BLD.
and BLD. So get your stickers if you see us. Just come up to us and
I'll be at the rack doing field work.
All right. Okay.
Hey. There you go.
Getting it ready for the next. Getting it ready. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Kyron's gonna be. We got 6 loads of sand for the high school field to
nice.
kind of do some stuff and sand that field. So he's busy all weekend with that.
Well, good. Well, listen. So we want to thank Darren Larson again for coming on the show and answering your questions. And chopping it up with us. Chingo Bling, the Versace Mariachi. How you doing?
I like that.
That's what
I
he calls
actually
it.
like that.
That's what he calls himself now, man.
I'm going to have to change my name on Facebook.
Yeah, make sure before we go, you go and check out C4 Bat Company. Check out what we got. Also check out Issa Cookies and Ferrari Michelada Mix. Make sure you like, follow, share, all that stuff. We'll be doing a lot more with the 3 companies that sponsor us. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for the WINDUP Media Group website that's in production right now. Once we all sign off on it, then we'll debut it. But until then, for Darren Larson, the Versace Mariachi Jr. Chingo Bling Aguilar, for the guy behind the window, Julio Ramirez, I'm Steve Medina. Have a good time this weekend. Play some good baseball, and let's have fun. We'll see you next time. Thanks.
Peace out, brothers.
Let's go.
Are we off there?